On today's episode of the Primal Scream, we have Lovar Davis Kidd. Stay tuned for that. Enjoy our sponsors.
Is your life savings wrapped up in your 401k? Are you worried you're paying too much in fees? Ask for Matt. Matt Westbury of Premier Investments can help you with your 401k planning. Matt's a local guy who will sit down and talk with you about what you want from your retirement and give you simple answers you won't find on a confusing 401k website or at an 800 number. Go to askformatt.com. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream.
Hi, I'm Matt.
I'm Todd.
And Lovar Davis Kidd is with us.
How's it going, guys?
Very good. Thank you for joining us. And sorry about the screw up with the scheduling and the canceling of the babysitter.
No. Yeah, no, it's all good.
Thank you for saying that because I was going to blame it all on him.
You should blame it all on me. It was all my fault. So.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
All right. So before we get into Lovar and we play, did you want to play a little Cards Against Humanity? Is that okay? Hell yes. It's over there on the desk, Todd. But before we get into that, let's talk about our sponsors. You already heard about Premier Financial with Matt Westbury, and this is Sauce Hockey. So if you, I'm wearing this shirt. I posted a picture of myself wearing this shirt with my kid the other day, and Will is the person that designed this shirt. He has this Run Produce entrepreneurial business that he's trying to start up, and he goes, "Man, you wear that all the time." And I said, because it's comfortable. It's super duper comfortable. So if you want super comfy gear and you want something that has like a hockey theme, go to Sauce Hockey. Go to saucehockey.com. Click on whatever flag represents your area, your country. Probably not area. Country's a lot bigger than area.
I don't know, but you drag these things out like nobody's business.
Well,
so.
I'm originally from Canada, so no, I'm kidding.
Are you a Canuck?
A.
Oh, see, now that's a good. All right, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna close out of that.
A young George Michael.
So that's pretty much what happens when you play hockey, right there. That's a good looking grill.
That's rough.
But if you want something cool, you can go to their shirts. Check this out. All right,
And it's Sauce Hockey.
Sauce Hockey. So sauce is lingo for how you pass, like a really awesome pass.
Yeah.
It's like I put sauce on it.
Nice.
Right? So it goes up off the ice, hovers, and then lands perfectly. So they have really great T-shirts, and they're super duper comfortable, which is why I brought up
The
Run
comfortability.
Produce Run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because if they're not comfortable, you can have the coolest design that's on your shirts, and if they're not comfortable, no one's going to wear them.
Exactly.
The other cool thing is with Sauce Hockey, you buy a shirt, you buy whatever, and part of those proceeds go to the Healthy Scratch Foundation, which is they bring hockey to underprivileged kids down in the Arizona area.
Yes.
They have hockey in Arizona.
Hockey in Arizona. I wouldn't have pictured that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not like the Timberwolves or something like that. The hockey team in Arizona. And Phoenix.
Are you guessing right now?
I just
Because there's a magical device. There's a magical device right in front of you. Google it if you'd like. But we're going to move on. Thank you, Sauce Hockey. Thank you, Eric Kleinek, for helping us out here at the Primal Scream. You want something that's going to help your tummy feel good, like on a Saturday? Like how many people make like popcorn and they have like a date night at home? You're going to watch a movie and you want, you know what? Popcorn's awesome, but I want something chocolatey. I want something like that. I want something sweet. Go to Sweet Raw Joy. Order some Sweet Raw Joy desserts to live for because one, Lovar, they're healthy.
Nice.
They are uncooked.
They're raw. Yeah.
They're raw. So they have all the good enzymes for your gut, for your tummy, right?
Excellent.
So they satiate your sweet tooth and they make your tummy feel good and they're awesome. So throw Lori Moritz a little love. Go to sweetrawjoy.com and order yours today.
And she told me she had some for me today, and I forgot the refrigerator was here. 'Cause I thought there was no way for us to
keep it cool.
So
we did a lot. Today is episode 90. It's kind of a special one. It's special, and I also apologize to Lovar because up until you walked in, you can kind of see it's still a little bit of a mess.
a little rough.
I'm still going to do like this. artistic half wall divider with old barn wood as you come through the door to kind of separate the space. So we're not there 100%, but we're there enough.
It's nice
to do a podcast.
And who knew that this was above New Bow Ale House?
Yeah. Exactly. And we're going to have a sign right out here, a little neon going on. So the people that are at Parlor City who are having drinks can look up and go.
Also like the National, right? Isn't that going in the old Chrome Horse?
Is that what's happening?
I think so.
What's the National?
There's it's supposed to be a live music venue.
Oh, cool.
I know that Steve Shriver from Ecolips is like putting on this huge music festival in the Nubo area, and it's sponsored by the National, which I believe is supposed to be a new live music venue going into where Chrome Horse is.
Cool. That'd be great.
You know what we need to do is maybe get like a Monopoly board and change that little old bald dude with the mustache
to Steve Shriver.
Because he's got his hands in everything.
Yes. You can put a little t-shirt on it, some khakis, some long hair.
Long hair.
Bicycle over his shoulder.
Yeah, because he I have no idea. He must have like a time machine. He creates his own time.
Yeah.
Because we went in there recently. This is what he does for people who don't know. Steve Shriver, Entrepreneur of the Year last year, owner and CEO of Ecolips, owner of Brewhemia, which is a coffee place, and they also have music in there from time to time. He also donates a ton of time to the Geometric building with entrepreneurs to give them guidance because he's so successful and he's so knowledgeable. And then on top of all this, and he has 3 kids or more. Does he have more than 3 kids?
I think it's three daughters.
3 daughters, right?
And his family is just cool.
Yeah.
Like the whole family is cool.
They're all awesome. So he has all of that going on. I can barely handle my 3 kids and my wife and my full-time job in this. So anyway, I can barely handle that. But this guy on top of all that says, hey, Matt, why don't you come in? I'll donate an hour of my time every week. I'll sit down with you and help you guys out so that you're taking the proper steps to have a successful business.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I love you, Steve.
We all love you, Steve.
I love you, Steve. You're a wonderful person. And I don't know why I don't have Ecolips on here, so I should talk about Ecolips. But we'll finish off with Sweet Raw Joy. Thank you, Lori Moritz. Go to sweetrawjoy.com. Now, here is another person who's really awesome and helps us out a great deal, and that's Jeff Johnson. He runs the USA Entertainment Agency here, and he will, if you need a comedian or a dueling piano or an entertainer of any kind, go to usaentertainmentagency.com and schedule an entertainer today for weddings, festivals, fairs, corporate, college, whatever, what have you. And if you don't want to order one, if you don't want to schedule one for your own event, go down to Penguins and watch one of their comedians there. Go to penguinscomedyclub.com and you can check that out. So those guys, Jeff hooks us up regularly. He just says, if you guys are ever in need of a guest, call me up on a Thursday.
Nice.
We have comedians come in. They don't have anything to do because they're going to perform Friday, Saturday. Might as well promote themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
I really love Steve.
Good dude.
Jeff Johnson. Now, Revolution Realty Team. We have a lot of sponsors. You would think with all the sponsors that we talk about,
you would think you just like knock these things out 20 seconds a piece.
Boom, boom,
give them their stuff.
RevolutionRealtyTeam.com.
I won't talk this time then.
Hey, if you're looking to sell your house or buy a house, go to revolutionrealtyteam.com and you put in your normal stuff. Now, it might seem like a normal realtor type thing, but it's not. And I'll tell you why. Because they sell your house for 5%, right?
Nice.
That's their commission, 5, not 7, not 10. They're not screwing you over. They're actually making less money than, say, other big-time realty places. And this will take a little bit to load up. Gosh darn it, I should have opened it earlier. The 3D tour. Now, Lovar, you've probably shopped around for houses, right?
Yeah, actually, coming up on a year of being in our house.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, like when you've shopped around before, you could get on the internet and kind of like the new thing was, and this was a few years ago, someone would put a camera in the middle of a room and it would spin around and take a bunch of photos. Right. So you could kind of get the feeling of the place. But this software, this stuff that they use here at Revolution Realty Team is like a complete 3D modeling of the house.
There you go.
Right?
Oh, wow.
So you can look at it. Woo! You can look at it like that. You can use your keys on your keyboard to walk through the house.
It's like we're in the house.
You're
It's
in
crazy.
the house.
It's so neat.
If you really want to get a good feel.
And I've always wanted to be able to walk through walls, so this is amazing.
Yeah.
It is pretty sweet.
You want to check out your neighbors? That's got a great yard. Voyeurism to the next level.
Yeah.
Revolution Realty team. They got some really cool gadgets and gizmos to help you sell you and buy a new house. So check them out. They're awesome. Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Cards Against Humanity. If you're going to have a great time with someone you don't know, you need an icebreaker. You need to figure out what's on Lovar Davis Kidd's mind. You want to see what he thinks
Oh, gosh.
in the deep, dark corners of his mind. Play a little Cards Against Humanity with him. You can go to cardsagainsthumanity.com. You can download it for free because they're cool as shit. But
Yep.
don't do that. Throw a little love their way. Buy it for $25. And when you do that, again, a lot like Sauce Hockey, they put money towards a local charity. So I don't even know where these guys are at,
No one does.
but they donated to a charity in North Liberty. In my area. And then the North Liberty people sent me a card like, Matt, you're so wonderful. We didn't even know you knew about our charity. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. So they're really cool that way too. Cardsagainsthumanity.com. They help people out. It is a game for horrible people though. They even say that. A party game for horrible people right there.
Yeah.
It is. And you can get expansion packs and you can get UK edition, Canadian edition, or an Australian edition.
Nice.
Yeah. We played a little bit of that with Will.
He's from Australia. We
right.
didn't understand how bad the cards were because we don't get.
We don't get their lingo.
Right.
And he was like going, "Oh wow, that's really terrible. Oh wow, that's a bad one."
Yeah. And we're like, well, which one? All of them.
That's funny.
All right. So, Todd,
Yes.
break down how you play Cards Against Humanity.
All right. So you have question cards, which are the black cards. You have white cards, which are the answer cards.
That
And-
already in and of itself bothers me, but keep going.
So then the idea
hear
is
ya.
that you want to you have to kind of get to know your audience and see. I know how messed up you are, and you know how messed up I am, but we don't know LeVar very well. So,
Right.
will you want to go by LD? Is that better?
LD is fine.
LD.
LD.
All
Yeah. Okay.
I'll get used to that. And so we need to start out by the first number one rule is who had the most recent bowel movement.
That is how you figure it out.
That's the number one rule. That's the first.
The
That's how you
person
start.
that had the
It's in
most
rule
recent
books.
goes first. I went this morning before I kicked off the day.
I went before I left here to go home for lunch, so 12:30.
Nooner.
I go first.
Okay, so we
Sweet.
won't knock down the exact
350.
right before
Well,
he came here.
I got into town from the Quad Cities. I was teaching dance there all week, and I went to my studio to shower real quick, and so that's
There you
why
go.
I know that it was right before I came
Are
over.
you on the third floor of Cherry Building?
Yep.
then?
Yep.
Okay,
Suite
I know right where
302.
you are. You're right there when you get top of the stairs.
Yep. Silver
Oh, that's
door.
right. When we were walking through there daydreaming, we were like, oh, maybe someday we'll have a studio. And we
Yeah,
were
you
walking
guys
through
should-
each one.
Come over and do broadcasts from my space. That'd be awesome.
Oh, we'd love to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd totally like to do that. All right, so you're first. Go
Okay.
ahead and read a black card,
Whatever one you want.
and we will peruse our white cards. Do I need to cut the fans? I apologize, everybody who's listening to this. We have fans going on in the background because it's hot as...
If you turn those off and I start sweating like a crazy person, I'm just.
But you're okay? Are you comfortable?
I would like the fans to stay on.
All right, they're on.
Excellent. I'm not like the rest of you. I'm too rich and busy for blank.
I have one.
Do I get to play on my
Oh.
own card?
No.
Nope.
No.
You do not. I'm ready. I'm already self-defeating. I'm already feeling like I'm not going to do very well. God, I hate that feeling.
Okay, I had to go back to one of my two. Okay. All right, now you need to close your eyes,
I'll
sir,
close your
because you
eyes.
can't know what's going on.
Who it
Who it came from. Yeah. I was thinking about buying a website called www.whosemouthamiin.com.
That kills me.
I think we should go onto GoDaddy and see if somebody already owns it.
Oh, nobody does.
Nobody does.
He's already a child.
Oh,
It was
surprising.
It was either that or it was www. What did I say the first time? Whosemouthamiin.com.
Yeah.
And then the other one was
And you're talking about a baby's hand because they put their hands in.
Yeah.
I think I saved that.
Yeah, let's move forward.
Yeah, go ahead right there.
All right. So I'm not like the rest of you. I'm too rich and busy for getting so angry that you pop a boner.
I like that one.
I'm not like the rest of you. I'm too rich and busy for tentacle porn.
Yeah.
Tentacle porn.
It's real.
It's a really disturbing
it's a real thing.
Asian thing.
They can't show pornography, but they can show tentacle porn.
Yeah.
Isn't that
They can
weird?
show a tentacle going into a woman's privates, but they can't show a man's penis.
Isn't that crazy?
Tentacle porn it is.
I'll take the black card. Thanks.
Todd, you're on the board.
Thank God. I'll take your
Sorry,
black card,
Mom.
buddy.
Those two.
Yeah, just give
Discard.
Thanks.
Good job, Todd.
Shut up.
Todd is notoriously terrible at this game.
Nice.
All right.
And what is their tagline? It's for horrible what?
A party game for horrible people.
Or is it a party game for normal people's horrible side?
That's probably better.
Because I want to say that everybody has like
Feelings, these weird ideas, right?
yeah.
They want to say it, but the society is so politically correct.
Right.
You can't say it.
Right. Shh. It's like Black Eyed Peas. They had to remember when their song first came out and it was called "Let's Get Retarded," and they had to change it
Did they really?
to let's get it started.
to "Let's Get It Started." I in 2003 was driving to California. I moved there, and that's when I had the album, and I was blasting it in my car, and then all of a sudden it started playing on the radio, and it had changed. Yeah.
Interesting. Huh?
And I'm not saying that one's right and one's wrong because I don't want anyone to think that I feel a certain way about that.
Right.
But you know what? I will, and we've said it a few times on the podcast before. It's how you say it. It's your meaning behind the word, right?
Right.
So if I were to say, God, I really effed up the design on whatever, I feel so retarded. Meaning my skill in that is held back. It's retarded. It's not very high level. But I'm not going to run around and point my finger at somebody and laugh and go, "Ha, you're retarded." That's
Right.
horrible. It's a horrible, horrible thing.
And it's such a fine line for a lot of people. So
It is.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right. Are you done with your soapbox? You good to go?
I'm off my soapbox.
Thank
Go
you
ahead,
so
Todd.
much. The blind date was going horribly until we discovered our shared interest in blank.
Done.
The blind date was going horribly until we discovered our shared interest in blank. Wow, that was fast.
Hey, what was the definition of swooping again?
Swooping is swimming while pooping.
All right. Well, I can't play that now. Are you ready, Todd?
I'm
Yeah, keep your eyes closed.
Yep.
All right, buddy.
Rock. All right. The blind date was going horribly until we discovered our shared interest in altar voice.
Which is a brilliant musical, by the way. I choreographed that.
Was that on Broadway?
It was
Really?
on Broadway.
Okay, I
Yeah,
thought
it's spelled
that.
with a Z, Altar Boys.
Boys.
Theater Cedar Rapids also did it. So
Oh, that's cool. The blind date was going horribly until we discovered our shared interest in Daniel Radcliffe's delicious asshole.
I don't know whoever picked that card is mental.
Disgusting. I'm going to go with Altar Boys.
See, I just Jedi mind fucked
Yeah,
you.
you did.
That's
No.
my card.
I'm picking it because I liked it.
Don't change your
Oh, shut
reasoning.
up. I'm glad you won.
Dude, I thought the Daniel Radcliffe thing was awesome.
I like that one too. It kind of just grossed me out. That's all.
Okay. In the seventh circle of hell, sinners must endure blank for all eternity. In the seventh circle of hell, sinners must endure blank for all eternity. All right. Wow me. Just wow me. By the way, the beer that I had, I don't know where it was at. Oh,
Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow.
Wisconsin.
You like little Spotted Cow?
I do.
What's your favorite beer? If you were to pick.
Gosh, right now I'm like just in summer mode. So it's Leinenkugel, any summer shandy. They have a new ginger one. Grapefruit,
The grapefruit one I love. He doesn't like any of those.
I don't
shandies.
like grapefruit. No, I like summer shandy. We have some in the fridge.
Oh, okay.
In our fridge, not in our cooler, not in the thing that leaks water. Anyway, in our fridge,
In the old studio.
in the old studio,
my basement.
That's right.
All right. In the seventh circle of hell, sinners must endure a snapping turtle biting the tip of your penis for all eternity. Ugh, man, that would suck.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really terrible.
I agree.
All right. Oh, here we go, though. In the seventh circle of hell, sinners must endure the Holy Bible for all eternity. You know what? The Holy Bible is a good one, but I'm going to have to go with snapping turtle. Whose is that?
I am horrible at this game.
Dude, you're wrecking it. Look at you.
I know. I mean,
You
what
put
do
your
they
big
call
boy
that?
pants on.
I'm doing
job.
that. What do they call it when pool players act like they're
You're
bad?
hustling.
I'm hustling. There you go.
Well, you've been
Every
hustling
day
for
I'm
about
hustling.
a year and a half now.
All right. What never fails to liven up the party?
Boom. Alrighty. I already have an answer, but I'm going to look through the other ones just to make sure.
This would be a good one for the snapping turtle.
All right, Ellie. Go ahead. LD. LB. I said LB.
You said LB? Like
LB.
LB? Bean?
Hey, it's all good.
I don't know. LD. Go ahead.
Any two letters I'll answer to. Sorry, this is what never fails to liven up the party. Lumberjack fantasies. What never fails to liven up the party? Kamikaze pilots.
Boom.
That's dumb.
That'll wake your ass up. I'm just saying, if it's a dull party.
I'm gonna go with the kamikaze pilots.
Finally, I'm on
God
the board.
damn it!
Oh, I'll take that
The
one.
black one, yeah.
Because
and discard.
I want black. There we go. Kamikaze pilots.
Whatever,
Yeah, suck it,
Lumberjack
Todd.
Fantasies were so much better than that. Okay, here we
It
go.
was pretty good.
Oh, twofer.
All right.
Twofer.
I became blank, destroyer of blank. I just saw this come up and it said, I became Tom Cruise, destroyer of ass.
Wow.
It's fantastic. I became blank, destroyer of blank. And please
All
put
right.
your top card on
Yep.
first
So
line.
as you're
on
laying
top.
it down, the first response is on top. Now, please, Todd, for the love of God and little 6-pound, 8-ounce baby Jesus, read this correctly. All right, go ahead. Don't screw it up.
Will you-
Don't spill your beer either.
I'm not going to do anything.
I think I did it wrong.
All right.
Okay, I'll close my eyes and you can just look.
Go ahead and fix it. Go ahead and
Fix
look at it and fix
Yeah,
it if
you
you
can
need
fix
to.
it.
So wait, I'm confused.
I'm going to read the first line is the top card.
But
Yep.
the top card is different when you pick them up.
No, he's not going to pick him up. He's going to slide the top
I'm going to
card
slide the
off.
top card down. Yeah.
First?
No,
Second?
switch them.
Okay. Then
Switch them if you want the first. If you want that to be the first one. If you want. If you want.
second.
Yes. All right.
I
All
was,
right, we're good.
I was right. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Sorry,
Okay.
dude. You're
Don't be an
tired.
asshole.
You're tired, and I'm tired.
All
And we
day.
just started drinking.
Okay. I became a robust man.
Say it again.
Sorry. I became a robust Mongoloid destroyer of Auschwitz. Oh, I like that one. That was unique. I became the Hamburglar destroyer of a disappointing salad.
That totally makes sense.
It
though.
totally. It
That
totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Hamburglar.
Fucking goddamn right you are. Give me that black card. I am not going to let you beat me, Todd. How many you got over there?
2.
I'm gonna let both of you guys beat me since it's your show.
No.
And,
yeah.
and I also haven't won one yet.
Are we done?
No. Bing. I got one more.
Oh, so I can.
You can tie me.
it.
Oh my God! Did you see the gleam in his eye?
What's
He
the
got so
tiebreaker?
happy. We don't usually play a tiebreaker, should we?
No.
All right. We need to get into you, dude. We need to talk all about you and Donkey and all the deliciousness that you've brought to my family.
All right.
You've seen the bearded lady. You've seen the ring of fire. Now, ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes upon blank. You've seen the bearded lady. You've seen the ring of fire. Are we ready?
Yeah.
We're ready.
Okay, good. Awesome. You've seen the bearded lady. You've seen the ring of fire. Now, ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes upon all these decorative pillows. That's like fucking torture. I got to say, they look nice in pictures, but when it's just you and your lady, and your lady's got to have all the goddamn decorative pillows put back on the bed every morning so that I have to take that shit off every night, and the only person that has seen them is me.
I feel the same way about tucking the corners of the sheets.
Yeah.
Like
all right.
Not the fitted, because that goes on, but
Sure,
the
absolutely.
other one.
Yeah. I
Yep.
got another question for you. Why in the hell do people take their sheet all the way up to the top and then fold it down?
Because that's what they do in hotels. We learn from what we see.
All right, good answer. Good answer. I do
that.
lady and I were making our bed at 8:30 at night. We just got done with laundry. We're putting the bedding back on, and she's making it like she's making it at 7 a.m.
And you're getting ready to get into it.
Babe,
Yeah.
we're about ready to wreck these sheets. Why are you doing this? Anyway, let's get back to. Okay, you've seen the bearded lady. You've seen the Ring of Fire. Now, ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes upon crippling debt. Yeah, crippling debt. I'm going to go with that.
I got one.
There you go.
Yeah.
LD on the scoreboard. All right, that's it for Cards Against Humanity.
Woo.
By the way, just for namesake, I was a big winner. And,
Yeah.
Todd lost.
Well, I mean,
It really doesn't matter who came in second or third.
that's true.
But if you want to have a great time, break the ice with people you don't know, or better yet, take this to a family reunion and see just how fucked up Uncle Bob is.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
Go to cardsagainsthumanity.com and have a great time with your friends today. Lovar Davis Kidd, also known as LD, also known as Donkey.
Donkey. Yeah.
Dude, okay, so we were talking before we started the recording. My kids loved you in Shrek the Musical. You did.
I loved your kids that
If
watched
you,
Shrek the Musical.
Oh my God. If you could have seen my kids watch you, it might have screwed up your performance because there was so much love and admiration just shining out of their eyes. They were glued. My daughter loves musicals. In fact, now her and my wife have gone. We went to Shrek Musical, and then they just recently went to The Lion King in Des Moines.
Des Moines, yep.
Yep. And she loves it. She's just so into this now. So that's their mother-daughter type thing that they do. But man, you did just an awesome job as
Thank you very much.
And we wanted to come get your autograph afterwards, but when we got down to the main lobby, the only person that didn't have anybody right next to him was kind of the sad. She kind of looked sad. So we went up and asked for her autograph because there was nobody there, and I don't know who it was exactly off the top of my head, but I know
Who
that
was sad in the show?
No. It looked sad to me.
Oh, it looked sad. I was
because
like, what
all these
character
other
was sad?
people, all these other characters had people around them.
Right.
You know, and
Those other people paid people to come up to them.
boom,
No.
boom. So we didn't get your autograph.
I can give it to you now.
You are going to give it to me later on.
Perfect.
Because my kids are going to freak out. And I'm going to freak out because I totally enjoyed you just as much as my kids did. I thought, one, you were hilarious. And two, I have the utmost respect for anybody who can function in a fucking suit like you had on and not fall over with heat stroke.
If you had like a donkey head on, I'm like,
No,
I don't know what it looks
My
like.
face was actually open, but
Exposed,
it was ears and a thing that wrapped around, and so my neck was completely covered. And actually, one of the guys on our closing night celebration, we went over to the director's house, and he was like, "You were so awesome on stage, and you were like Eeyore off stage." Because Shrek and I, every time that we weren't on stage, we would just go off to the side and sit because we both had just heat coming from everywhere that we couldn't,
Yeah.
I barely could get down. Like, I feel bad for Shrek. Shrek couldn't go to the bathroom or do anything during the show. So, like, once he got to the theater, and I think he got to the theater around 5 to start his makeup and stuff. I got there around 6:30 and still got all my stuff done. But it was it was miserable off stage because just the sweat and the heat coming out of the costume.
Right.
And there wasn't much that you could do. My hands were fastened into the hooves. So once I put those things on,
They stayed on.
I took them off during intermission, and that was about it. So it was miserable, but the most amazing experience ever. Yeah. So it was like a sauna suit under theater lights. That was the bad part. You know, if it would have been like, there's some fans blowing and stuff, but it was such a great opportunity, and I was completely floored to step into the role. So
yeah, it was awesome. And one of the funny parts about it was an unexpected funny part. There was a microphone error. There was a mic that came on backstage.
you were there that day.
I was there that day.
Oh gosh.
So we don't have, I mean, if you want to, we can say what was said, because the person didn't know. It was not like they were trying to shock the audience. They didn't realize they could be heard.
Yeah.
But the mic was still on them when they went backstage, and they said something, and my wife and I went, what was that?
And it was a moment where I think that there were only 3 of us on stage. So it was like getting ready to be this nice, intimate moment before the end of the first act. And so it was like we all heard it on stage and tried not to
And you did a
let
great
the
job.
audience know
Sure.
that we heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody acted like,
What'd they say?
wasn't it like, oh, fuck.
I think it was mother.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can say you can say.
What do you mean,
motherfucker.
motherfucker? Like she was like
I don't
somebody-
cuss
But
that
if you
much.
don't, that's
I'm
okay.
not
If
a
you don't
big-
want to.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
But if it slips, it's fine.
so somebody just said, "Oh, motherfucker!" Like there's explanation because it's
Right,
like,
right. But
yeah,
you
there
know,
was something that happened with a part of their costume.
Okay.
And
Right.
so, I mean, technically speaking, in theater, what happens is the sound operator has all these cues, like this person's on stage at this point in time. But in community theater, that person's normally a volunteer, and they're doing everything in their power to make sure that all that stuff happens. But every once in a while, something, a mic gets left up for a moment longer than it normally has. So then it's the cast member's job off stage to remember that they have a mic on that could be on, and they're supposed to wait before they, say
Yeah.
anything inappropriate, let alone, say
there's
anything.
I mean, Shrek the Musical. I mean, there's a lot of kids in the audience.
Yeah.
Even my kids looked at mom and dad like, what was that, Mom? Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just rest assured it's fine.
Well, needless to say, the director was in the audience, and he came downstairs and addressed the issue right away and said that can't happen.
Well, I mean, I can see it. It's a total accident.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
it
like
happens
anybody was trying to shock
in so
anybody.
many shows. Like, it has happened on Broadway. I mean, it's just one of those things where, seriously, if he goes 1-2, that's how he's supposed to do it, but he accidentally mutes 2 before he mutes 1, and 1 says something. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like,
Sure.
cast members should know, but it's tough. It's tough.
I would love to actually go there and see the behind the scenes.
I've always
stuff.
wanted somebody to come in and set up videos backstage to watch all of that craziness. Like the Tony Awards, they just showed during the King and I performance, they showed what's her name, Kelly, whoever's in the King and I that won the Tony for Best Female. They showed her quick change backstage, so she had 40 seconds to get out of one dress and into another dress, and they had a video of that from backstage. That stuff is cool. Because when you start to see the behind the scenes stuff and what people have to do in order to get on and off stage, it's pretty impressive.
Right,
guess so.
because we as the audience are just like, oh, well, this is the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's
Yeah.
just you're presenting this perfect rendition of reality.
Right.
But reality is what is going on backstage, and we have the false reality on stage.
Yeah.
My dad helps run a theater in Anamosa.
Oh, nice. Is that
So,
Starlighters?
Starlighters.
Yep.
Yep. So
I've never seen anything there. I've had friends that have done shows there, but
I always gave him a lot of shit about it, just because I like to tease my dad, but because he devotes more time to that than probably anything else in his life, which is cool. I'm glad he has a passion. But he did 17. He just lobbied for 1776, which is a huge play.
Yeah.
One of my dad's favorite plays, and so he played. Oh shit, Thomas Jefferson. And it was the first time I saw a play where he invited me to come, so I came with my kids. And I thought, I missed, my dad disappeared, and I was watching somebody beat Thomas Jefferson. I was really impressed. It was a really good play.
Nice.
For a small theater to do 1776 was a pretty big undertaking.
and there's a
That's cool.
lot of small local theaters that produce some pretty quality work. We were talking earlier too about Lord Farquaad, a guy named Greg Smith, who is hilarious and just embraced that role and had to play it the entire show on his knees. It was just crazy. But he was just in a production of Pippin that was really well done by Revival Theater Company. They had shows at Co-College and Dow's Auditorium, and that was a really, really, really well done show. And that theater is only in their first year of existence. So it's just great that you have something as big as the Paramount bringing in Broadway caliber shows, Theater Cedar Rapids producing caliber shows, and then these small companies are stepping their game up too. So
yeah, and here's
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's it, huh?
Yeah.
So awesome. He
Did his knees hurt when he was done with all that?
He had some pretty thick pads, but
Did he?
I mean, he
Okay.
definitely had some bumps and bruises on his knees from.
He reminds me a lot of another actor, another like big name actor. They have kind of that same.
John Lithgow? Is that John Lithgow right
picture-
there in
the
the
picture right
polo?
above it.
There.
Yeah.
No, I'm not thinking of him.
Oh, okay.
Because he was the voice. No, maybe he wasn't.
I think he might have been the
What is
voice
I think
of
he
him
was
in
the voice
yeah.
of Lord Farquaad. Yeah, but yeah, this guy was amazing, and
Oh my God. His
Just-
face looks so big compared to his body.
right. But that was exactly the way the
Right.
character was, and it was
Yeah.
just played beautifully by him.
And it was magic too, because when you're watching from the front, you start to realize, like, you start to forget that he's on his knees, and you
Right.
think that he's really that height.
Yeah.
The show is just really well done. It's a fun show.
Now this isn't him.
No.
But this is just kind of the funny some of the funny little props that go into this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in the Broadway show, there's a moment where he's sitting up on top of the castle, and he flings his fake legs over the top and is really dainty on it. And they also have like a bath scene where he's in the bathtub, and it's like bare chest and his legs hanging over the side. It's like really funny stuff.
Yeah, so Shrek the Musical, I highly recommend it to anybody and everybody to go see that movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of high schools that were doing it. Jefferson High School did it. Benton Communities High School did it. Pella's High School, all this year, all within the last year and a half.
I like the scene before at the very beginning, like how
they
the
set up
mother and
that,
father ogres kind of kick him out.
Yep.
You know, I thought it was perfect. I'm like, oh, so that's exactly why he acts the way he acts,
Yep.
which you didn't see in the movie.
Yeah.
So that was perfect. Lovar Davis Kidd. Here's your Facebook page. If you go to Lovar Davis Kidd, RYT. What's with the RYT? What's
Registered yoga teacher and licensed massage therapist.
that? Okay.
Is that your job then? That's your day-to-day job is yoga and massage therapy?
No.
Okay.
That's a component. The main thing I do is freelance choreography. So I do a lot of choreography for high school show choirs, for musical theater. In the past, I've done a lot of stuff at Theater Cedar Rapids. Like I said, I choreographed Shrek. I also have worked for the past couple of years with Indianola High School with... I'm blanking on one of the high schools. I just choreographed for Muscatine. I've actually worked with them for the past 3 years. Indianola, this was my first year choreographing their show. And then also I have choreographed for Dubuque Wahlert in the past.
And dance has always been part of your life, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I was an athlete in high school. So I played soccer. 1 year I actually did football and cross country at the same time for a short amount. I didn't continue with cross country. It was crazy. I actually was a cheerleader for 2 years in high school during basketball season. And then I was involved in show choir. So that's kind of where I got my desire to pursue dance. I did it in middle school as well. I went to Franklin Middle School, and then I went to Cedar Rapids, Washington High School, and had a friend from Jefferson High School who we were talking at a party that it was a bunch of Jefferson people and a bunch of Wash people. And I was like, so where are you going for school? And she's like, University of Iowa. And I was like, what are you majoring in? Dance. I was like, oh, how do you do that? And so she said, well, you have to call the university if you're interested. And she goes, but you haven't really taken any dance, right? And I was like, no, but I think I would enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And so I called the university on I want to say it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And they were like, yeah, come and audition on Thursday. And so I went and auditioned for the University of Iowa's dance department and ended up getting a scholarship.
Dude, how do you
Do you YouTube it, or what do you do?
yeah, how do you figure that out? Like, what are you going to do for moves?
So at the audition, they taught you combinations. And so
Okay.
basically I gave them what I saw. Like I've always been a very visual person where I can see movement and I can kind of recreate that. So, in football, instead of necessarily being told what the play is, if I see it being done, I could then duplicate what it is that I was supposed to do.
Okay.
Exactly what the pattern is or whatever. Very visual learner. And so I basically faked it by watching people and just kind of mimicking what they were doing within the audition. We did a modern combination to begin with, and then a ballet. We started with the ballet combination. So I just watched the person in front of me and did it to the best of my ability.
But you're a pretty good athlete, so you physically could handle it okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, who was saying, was it Joe Rogan that was saying that some of these
dancers,
like hip hop dancers have some of the best body control that make incredible like MMA fighters.
Right.
Well, they can transition into jiu-jitsu really easily.
There's actually a video of, I wish I knew the guy's name, but he is a B-boy who does MMA. And actually, you know what it is? His name is Flowmaster. He actually used to choreograph for Usher and was one of his dancers. And now he does MMA. And he has this video of him break dancing with like one of those kind of sparring dummies.
Okay.
But he's also doing MMA as he's breakdancing. It's the coolest thing ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Flowmaster.
No W.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, get with it, buddy.
Yeah, and there's a video. I mean, he's if you click on the locking, I think, which is another style in hip hop that he does extremely well.
Pop and lock. That's when I grew up in the '80s. That's what they did. Seriously.
I'm looking for the pop and lock
It was on his Twitter, so I don't know if it's actually on YouTube.
on YouTube.
My son wants to be he's in 4th grade. He wants to be in show choir.
Nice.
He's taking dance. He starts his first dance lessons on June 20th. So in a couple of weeks, he gets his first. He's really excited about it.
So this is Flowmaster, but I don't think this is the. Not so much this commercial. Don't worry about this commercial.
Do you know Rob?
A new sponsor.
That's right.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Rob Merritt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we had him on the podcast right before when Summerland just got done.
Oh gosh, so amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. He's an amazing talent.
And his girlfriend lives
right behind me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's not Flowmaster.
She's a good
Okay.
dancer, though.
That's Flowmaster.
Okay.
But yeah, he's recently got into, and I don't know how recently it is, but I think he might be a black belt or something. But he is also like a personal trainer and does some group exercise classes, and you just see him getting down in the classes and like
Really?
encouraging people, and they're all having fun. And he's a gentleman. He wants the lady to go first, and nobody wants to go.
Just let it finish up, bud. Somebody will get started.
And now they're spinning the bottle to see who's going to start.
So this is a dance off? What is this?
Yep.
Okay.
This is a cipher. So in hip hop, when you are talking about like rapping, there's a cipher where you're in a circle and two people will get in and they'll battle each other just back and forth with rhyme. And in dance, it's the same thing. So they get in the middle and one person goes and then other person, so it's a battle back and forth. Flowmaster does it because he enjoys dance. He never does it to kind of put people down, and there are people out there that are very negative about dance,
right?
And it's all a competition, and he doesn't feel that way at all. He's like, everybody should love and have a passion for it. So
and have a great time doing it.
And locking is such a unique style. I actually trained with a girl in California who studied under one of the original lockers.
And this is locking.
That's locking, the style that they're doing right now.
He looks like he's just warming up, though.
Yeah.
He's just getting ready.
There's all these basic components of locking, like she's doing the stop and go right now with a variation on it. Wrist rolls.
Do you do private lessons?
I do.
Cool.
That's a move called the Witch Away.
That's like an old 1920s kind of dance, isn't it?
Well, no, not even. It's newer than that. It was like Rerun on What's Happening.
Okay.
He was a locker. He was one of the original lockers.
Oh, interesting.
So it's the style of dance that he did.
This is going to give me a whole new definition of dance.
Well, see, like I said, I grew up in like 80, 81, 82, put a piece of cardboard on the ground, people were doing backspins, and that's what I kind of grew up.
Yeah. Do you
what
know
was that really famous movie that came out like
Breakin'?
Breakin'.
It was Breakin' 1 and Breakin' 2, the Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my God. Love those movies.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
I actually bought I saw it at Walmart, and it was like a combo pack of the two movies for like $5. So I have it, and I didn't unwrap it.
It didn't be
all
worth
right,
a lot of money
I don't think I
someday.
can find Flow. It's all right.
There was somebody in jiu-jitsu right there. That Grandmaster. Oh, sorry. I thought that was
No,
something.
No. Yeah, my niece is in dance. She did dance at Iowa.
Okay.
Right. I've always had this weird, maybe not weird, feeling of dance. Like my daughter, when she was very young, maybe 5, we had her in dance. And when I went to watch her dance, I thought, there's something overtly sexual. The moves that they're making my 5-year-old do.
Dude, if you're talking about
No, wait, hold on. But I thought they were inappropriate.
Well,
like I didn't understand.
That is all on the teacher.
Yeah.
And what
I was gonna say, because that's what I was gonna ask. Because I think a lot of people have this feeling that dance only means this, and there's a lot of high school dance companies, that when I went to go see my daughter, all the dancers, all the dance groups from around the area and all the different schools were at this Saturday thing also.
Monticello, right?
I'm not sure.
I went with you to the Monticello.
Did you go to? Oh, it was Monticello.
All those high school girls that were in like the flesh tone body suits were really
well. In costuming is a whole different. I mean, that's a whole nother topic of it being overtly sexual, and it doesn't need to be. I personally think that as a and more so now as a parent, I have a son, I don't have a daughter, but if I had a daughter, there are certain things that I wouldn't want my daughter doing in a dance class, in anything involving the pelvis that's not part of the warm-up exercises. If it's in a combination, I mean, it's kind of inappropriate. And I know that there are professional studios and places all over the place where, little kids start dancing at such a young age and they're wearing little crop tops and booty shorts and all these things, and it's acceptable there. But I have a hard time with that. Like, when my dancers wear T-shirts and shorts. It's like it's very straightforward when it comes to the costuming. We try to keep things as age appropriate as possible, and we also try to keep the music that we use for the younger age students appropriate. Good. So I actually use a lot of Christian hip hop artists in my hip hop classes. Anything that you would hear on like 89.1 Air One, that I try to utilize those songs just because it doesn't have the cussing and it doesn't have. It's the context of songs as well. Some people will go, well, this song doesn't have any swear words in it, but it's talking about a lot of really bad things, and a 5-year-old shouldn't be listening to that. So,
amen, brother. I'm not overtly religious, but when I hear what you're saying, I'm like, amen. When you came with me that weekend, and we were watching my daughter do her thing, I thought, not bad. It's cute. It's 5 years old. It's,
But some of the older girls, I was watching.
I felt like I was at a strip joint without them taking their clothes off.
Well,
without them taking their clothes off, I felt like, okay, the last time I was at a strip joint was probably 20 years ago, and the girls were doing the exact same moves. I remember specifically those moves being done on stage. I don't want my daughter. I don't want me to put a lot. Yeah, that was really selfish, actually. I don't want me to put a lot of money into costumes and lessons and everything to prepare my daughter to be an excellent stripper.
Right.
And I think I hope that's a huge misconception.
It is.
What you've done with your choreography and graduating from Iowa and helping out different shows and doing stuff like that, showing that you can make money doing dance this way is awesome. I'm glad we get to kind of talk about this and get it out there.
I did have at one point in time, some people, I told them I got a job dancing, and they immediately thought me as a male that it was a stripping job. So there is that misconception when it comes to dance, and it's not just for women, it's for men too. So yeah, there's so many awesome studios out there, and I don't want to say any studio names. But you have to know what you're signing your daughter up for. And so I would always recommend to anybody that's looking, look every different option. Say, hey, can we come and can we watch a class? Do you have a recital coming up that we could come and see before I sign my, so you know what it is that you're getting your son or daughter into. Yeah. But there are people that are like, well, my daughter wants to dance. This is the first place I called. Sign them up. They seem to be affordable.
And then you drop off your kid, you leave, you come back an hour later.
Right.
And then you go to the show a month later and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, have you engaged as a parent?
Yeah.
Are you even looking at what your kids have been doing?
I was worried about that too, but I asked enough people who I knew had already had kids at this dance studio.
Right, and that's another
liked it,
word
just
of mouth.
recommendation kind of thing.
Word of mouth is huge, but word of mouth is huge. But at the same time, you kind of have to know your audience. You might have known some of these parents and have very similar, feelings about certain things. But if you don't know the parents and you're like, hey, your kids go here, but those, parents are totally fine with their daughter humping the floor, doing whatever, they may go, yeah, the studio's great. And then you're like, why did I listen to, so yeah, I think that everything is age appropriate and a lot of, there's cultural differences too. Like in Latin dancing, most Latin dance is sensual in some way, shape or form. Yeah. That's just, it's part of their culture. But them doing a partner dance and being close to each other, that doesn't mean that they're married. But in America, we look at that and we're like, oh, there's a connection. They must be hooking up or,
right.
And it's not that way at all. And so cultural differences also play into the whole dance scene as well. So,
all right. I just offbeat for a second because it just popped into my head. So I got to go.
That makes me nervous.
Rabbit hole. Dancing with the Stars. Are you do you like it or
what's that? No.
That would have been awesome. Choreographer doesn't even watch that.
Are you a fan
show.
of the show or does it drive you crazy?
The only thing that drives me crazy is when someone's like, when are you going to be on Dancing with the Stars? And then I have to remind them that I'm not a professional ballroom dancer, nor am I a celebrity. I mean, outside of Cedar Rapids. After doing Donkey, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Donkey. No, but in all seriousness, it's like, you have to be a professional ballroom dancer to be one of the professionals on that show. And by they have all these, regulations and requirements to get there. And then you have to be a celebrity. From what I've seen, I think that the show is now kind of bridging the gap between very strict ballroom and they're doing more like the freestyle ballroom or more contemporary styles of dance. You see a lot more hip hop with a lot of the younger celebrity or younger professionals that are on the show. So I think that the show in and of itself has come a long way from where it started and it's gained a following because some of the dances people watch and they go, I can do that. And I think that's what's important with dance. Mm-hmm. There are other times where you watch a show like So You Think You Can Dance and you've never danced before and someone does like 6 pirouettes and you're like, what just happened? Like, I'll never be able to do that. So I think that a lot of the shows are doing a good job of kind of showcasing like, here's where you could start and here's where you could end. And the celebrities that come in with no dance experience whatsoever, but then leave making you think, oh my gosh, they could be a professional ballroom dancer now. So I think I think it's great. I don't watch it on a regular basis, but I do.
You're too damn busy.
I watch YouTube clips of every single dance show. Like, that's how I catch up. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. I normally never get to watch a dance show while it's actually on.
I think before Dancing with the Stars, it's like, if you're not going to go to a wedding, the majority of Americans are not dancing. You're not placing yourself in an environment to dance.
Which is a shame.
It is a shame.
Because all you need is, you don't even need music.
But then when you get to a wedding, finally, like I when I was younger, I did not care. And I would just get out there and get crazy. And I'm sure I looked stupid as hell. But I had a great time. A wonderful time.
And when you're young, you get crazy. You don't care what people think. And then as you get older, you've conditioned yourself to care.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, if I do this and somebody's watching me,
am I going to look stupid?
They're going to make fun of me.
Right.
And it's like, what happened to the kid mentality? I'm going to do this and I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. That's what I think more people need to do when it comes to dance.
Dance might be the singular most fun thing to do to lose weight, to burn calories, to keep yourself moving and have a smile on your face.
Yep.
I love it. My kids and I dance. Well, I shouldn't say kids. My son and
Your
I dance all the time.
Your 2 boys just move around like spaghetti kids. I mean, they're just winging their fucking arms and legs around.
The youngest does. That's who he and I dance together a lot. My other one would rather not dance with us for sure. But he just loves it.
And rhythm is inside of everybody. Like
except my wife.
No,
you're a very nice person to say that about her.
Here's the deal though. She has a heartbeat, and that heartbeat is a pulse. Now it's figuring out how to find it. So look
at him.
No, seriously.
Look at him. He's almost pulled you in. He almost pulled you in. You almost said,
you know why?
Okay, when do you have an opening?
I just recently saw a YouTube video of some woman dancing in a backyard at a wedding, and it's like she's in complete convulsions. and you can't tell what she's doing. And my wife's like, "Wow,
It's the
I can't
Lorraine.
believe that she saw it. They caught me on tape."
Is
I'm
it
like,
Lorraine?
That's exactly
is
it.
Is that her name? What was her name in
It's
Seinfeld?
kind of like that. Yes, it's kind of like that.
But in that scenario, are those people having fun and enjoying
yes,
themselves?
they are.
And then who
Absolutely.
cares?
So who cares?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely like, I'm going to be a ballet dancer. You need to learn certain things to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be a hip hop dancer. Certain things you have to learn. I want to be able to dance at weddings. Find the 2 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're golden. Because all you have to do is figure out, it's in Hitch. One of the greatest examles when he's talking to Kevin James.
I love that
Will
movie.
Smith is talking to Kevin James and he's like, here's where you live. Elbows into your side. Step, step. That's such a great moment.
You live right here.
That-
Just
yeah,
stay right here.
just right here.
They don't
Just
need the
live right
food.
here.
They already got food there. You don't need to make no pizza.
What a great movie.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Oh, it's so good. So
And
good.
my favorite part is when he tosses that inhaler down the ground and walks back and kisses her.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. What a great scene.
In that dance scene, my favorite moment is when he busts loose at the end and Will Smith stops and then he slaps him twice and he goes, "Get out of here." He's just like, "I'm done. I can't help you."
There's some little girl, I forget, I don't know her name. I'm trying to find her, but she's been on Facebook like crazy. She and her dance teacher. But she's she's like 11 years old, a really good dancer. The funny part, though, is she's a great dancer, obviously, but her facial expressions, she really, really gets into it. She was on Ellen, too. I can't remember the name of it, though.
That's the other thing that freaked me out when I went to these. We're going to play your video here in a little bit. When we went to these dances for my daughter, right, was the almost psychotically happy facial expressions of some of these girls who had
it's like cheerleaders.
She had like a solo. Yeah, it was like a cheerleader,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if it was like a pom. Was it a pom squad type of routine? Anyway, this girl, you could pick her out of a crowd. You're like, she is on medication
Or off of her medication.
or off her medication, but for whatever reason, she really feels like she has to sell it.
Yeah.
She has to sell. I'm having the best fucking time.
But Palms do that, though. Cheerleaders do that. They're taught
Yeah.
to act like that and shake their heads and smile and just grin ear to ear. I mean, that's
Why?
I was a cheerleader in high
I'm
school.
just wondering why.
And I
though.
loved it because it was so much
I
fun.
mean, having a smile
Where'd
on
you
your
cheer at?
I was in Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
My junior and senior year. They needed football players to do basket tosses and things
Nice.
like that.
Yep.
And so we got to do that.
Yeah, it was a good friend of mine, my junior year, his senior year, that we were both football players, but he didn't want to wrestle his last year because the program had kind of gone downhill. And so he was like, "My girlfriend's on the cheerleading squad. I need another varsity letter." He actually broke the school record of varsity letters at the time by getting a letter in varsity cheerleading.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
We had a little 98-pound wrestler who was also a cheerleader, and me and another football player threw him in a basket toss, and that was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
So let's get into this topic real quick.
You gonna play the video?
No, because
What topic
that's
are you talking
yoga, and we're
Oh.
talking about fucking dance.
Okay.
Right now.
Can I have another
Which
Another
what?
beer?
You want?
I got one for LD, which is wonderful. Can I get a little hookup?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What would you like? Want some spotted cow?
You surprised
All right,
me.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna ask this question. You continue on. I'll listen while I get some
Okay.
beer. Here is a huge thing. My sister was a cheerleader in school, and I was 3 years younger than her. And she said, she goes, "I really wish you'd go out for cheerleading." There's no fucking way at that time that I would, because there is an instant feeling that I'm going to be ridiculed as a man.
Right.
For cheerleading. How did you experience anything like that? Or how would you, what would you suggest to younger kids, high school kids who are thinking about doing this and kind of like, hey, what would you suggest to them to kind of get over that?
Well, I definitely think that stereotypes have kind of fallen away to a certain extent when it comes to like men are supposed to do this and women are supposed to do this,
Sure.
you know, and a lot of that has to do with equality. And so I think that anybody that wants to do something should do it. They should try it. They should not let anybody else influence them
Nice.
in a negative way. So as a guy, like for instance, I knew I wasn't good at basketball when I was in high school. So why was I going to do what I thought I was supposed to do?
Right.
I led the team in solo tackles my senior year on football. And so I think that it was a little bit different, because the guy that I cheered with, who's actually our executive director at Theater Cedar Rapids now, Casey Prince, who is the director of Shrek. So he was a senior, I was a junior the first year that we cheered, and we both were good athletes, and we were involved in so many different things that no one questioned what it is that we were doing, but we also took it very seriously. So I think that that's the other thing. It's like, if you're going to do it, be serious about it, commit to it, and don't do it. Yeah, don't do it half out. You have to like fully invest into whatever it is that you want to do. So we made sure that we were learning like the cool things to do. Like we wanted to make sure that we were lifting the girls and doing basket tosses and doing all of that stuff, as opposed to just standing on the side and only doing the motions, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it depends on the type of person. We were both very athletic, and we were like, okay, I want to learn how to put a girl above my head. That was like, I want to hold a girl with one hand above my head, which is called a cupie, which we didn't get to. We were able to, start struggling with like extensions and some of the more basic stuff. But that then led to me cheering in college, and it was because I committed to it. I wanted to play football in college, but then I quickly realized I'm going to Iowa. I'm kind of small. Like at the time, I was really scrawny in comparison. And so I knew that I was good at something else as well. So I think that people should just try things and not let
What
other
position
people
did you
influence
play
them.
in high school?
Oh my goodness. I actually played on the D line in middle school, the O line my freshman year. Then I played linebacker my sophomore year. Then I played corner and receiver my junior year, strong safety my senior year.
Okay. And when you went to Iowa, what were you going to play? Or were you thinking, didn't
No,
know what the hell you were
hoping to
do?
get
No, I just, it was this idea of like, I want to walk on.
Any concussions?
No.
Good for you.
I had it was actually at summer camp. I went to, it was the Wally Sheets summer camp that was at Coe College for a long time. And I landed weird. I went up for I actually got a interception over this dude, but then I landed on my back and started peeing blood and stuff like crazy. So that was my only like
Injury.
yeah, and like a random messed up finger, but like I didn't. I mean, I think maybe I was good enough not to get.
You gonna let your son play football?
I'm gonna let my son do whatever he wants as long as my wife's okay with that.
Well, we've been discussing this because my brother, who played college football as well and went to the World League and played, he's not going to let his boys play football after all this brain injury stuff. He's pretty sure that he's had 3 or 4. He's probably had more than 4 concussions in his life, and so he's like,
But don't you
doesn't take
think?
a chance? But I don't know.
But don't you think that by the time, like my son's only 8 months old, so I mean he has.
Whoa.
So yeah, you have some time.
Yeah, he has some time. But I feel as though rules are changing so much in order for the safety of the players to be considered a lot more. So I think by the time my son at least would be able to play football, it'll be touch in the NFL.
It very well
you know what I
could
mean?
be.
It's like,
It might be.
Everybody runs around in bubble wrap.
right. Or have you seen those huge dome things that
Those
people get-
balls?
Yes. Like it's where they're playing soccer with them. That's what the NFL should be. Have you not seen this?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's like an inflatable thing.
So
that
you're
you
inside a ball.
You're inside it, but your legs aren't.
okay.
And so they're running around and they're playing soccer in this thing. So you see people that are like flipping over and it's awesome.
wow.
It's awesome.
All right. My boys, who are both 9, they're 6 months apart, and they're 9 years old. Okay. Just recently, I was just aware because I was in the room. That's the only reason I even knew this was happening, because I was in the room. So they were talking to my wife, and they said, "So, Mom, do I need to wear a cup for flag football?" And I looked at my wife and I said, I thought you and I thought we had discussed this. I thought the kids aren't playing football. She goes, "It's just flag football, honey." I go, "Yeah, but that makes it really hard for me later on when they're fucking addicted to football
To say no,
to
now
say,
you can't play.
no, you're not putting on the pads and everything, and you're not ramming into each other." Which I don't know if that would be necessarily that hard, because my youngest, I told him he's playing baseball right now, or both of them are, and I said, "Hey, where's your cups? You got your cups on? You got to wear your cups." He cried for 45 minutes. He cried.
Putting a cup on.
He cried for 45 minutes. And then he came out of the bathroom. I said, "Is your cup on?" He goes, "Yeah, Dad, I just can't move. It's rubbing." I go, "Listen, no man likes to wear the cup.
I never wore a cup.
No man likes to wear the cup.
I couldn't do it.
No man does. But that's what you're going to do because you're playing baseball. And if you get a line drive to the nuts," and then he starts laughing because I said nuts. You get a line drive to the nuts, you're going to go to the hospital. You might lose one. You don't want...
Lose one what, Dad?
Yeah. I'm pretty vulgar and straightforward with my kids. I'm like, "You're fucking ball, dude. You're nut. You don't want to lose it. There's 2 of them in that sack. You don't want to lose one. If you lose both, you might as well just wear dresses." So I there's no don't your testosterone. Your balls
doesn't mean you're gonna wear a dress.
It was a joke. Relax. It's a joke. But so then he goes over to my wife. Are you okay?
No, I was trying. In my older age,
Yeah.
I've developed more of a filter. So
Oh, there's no filter going on
There's
here,
no-
buddy.
yeah, there's
no filter
none.
happening
That's
over there.
the whole
but
point.
I just refrained from
Putting yourself in these kind of situations.
no
Is that what you're
Jenner
gonna
jokes. So I didn't go
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
say? Jenner jokes.
I get it now. Jenner.
Yeah.
She
she
Not-
looks
not
great.
gender.
She looks great. I'll give her
I mean,
that.
let's be honest.
She looks fantastic.
looked
Yeah.
she looked very beautiful
She looks
On
a
the-
beautiful 65-year-old woman
on
for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you put a 65-year-old woman on the cover of what was it?
Vanity
Vogue,
Fair.
Vanity Fair.
Vanity
Was
Fair.
it Vanity? I don't know.
It might have been Vanity Fair.
It's
I
Vanity
think it
Fair.
was.
You guys are right. Yeah.
I would think, wow, you've done a great job keeping yourself together.
Mhm.
Take all the makeup off. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, you can do a lot with Photoshop.
Yeah. Which is we've all seen.
And I'm
on-
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure that was photoshopped.
But listen,
It's Vanity Fair. You're correct.
she, I don't understand it. I don't know how you're supposed to address Bruce, Caitlin, whatever.
She's Caitlin now.
Completely Caitlin.
Completely Caitlin.
And
There
some
is no
people-
more Bruce.
And some people aren't like that, though. Some people are,
Yeah.
when I'm doing a drag show, I'm this person, but outside of that, I'm still...
It's a character.
But I think for him, because he's undergone whatever he's wanted to do...
Has he had his...
he's-
No, he's going to keep that. He
Yeah.
still likes.
Wedding-
He still likes women. That hasn't changed. He still likes women. He just
Okay.
identifies as a woman.
Okay.
The
Well,
difference between sexual preference and sexual identity.
yeah, I guess I... Listen, we were talking about my
Well, see-
boy and a nut cup.
You know what's
right?
funny is
It's
I have a
true.
friend of mine named.
you
that
said
I-
rabbit hole earlier, so...
Yeah.
That's true.
I had a friend named.
and that's what this
I had a
place
friend
is.
named VJ, and he used to work together, and he does Beyonce at the drag show. He used to be the Dragon back in the day.
I think I know him.
Okay, he is a tremendous dancer, and I remember he's like, "Hey, do you want to come watch me dance?" I'm, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm part of the drag show." I'm like, "Well, what do you do?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm Beyonce." And I was like, "All right, we'll see about this," because I know him as just a regular person, like a dude, not just as a
Yeah.
woman. And so when he came out, total Beyonce. I
Yeah.
was just flabbergasted. He danced good. His attitude was just hers. Oh my god, it was fantastic.
We have a ton of amazing drag performers in Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. It's ridiculous. I've actually done some
amazing.
choreography for a few of the shows in the past, and it's always fun to see the transformation and just, especially when you think about they invest in this stuff like thousands of dollars and they compete
sure.
and sometimes they go nationally and do it's
Really?
amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah. They have like a Miss like all of the stages of like Miss America, but
Yeah.
for drag contestants. It's a very serious thing for a lot of people.
Where else is there, the Dragon's gone now? It's what is it?
There's Club Basic and
do they still do?
Yeah.
So they do the shows with Club
Yep.
Basic. Okay,
And then wait, there was a place on 2nd Avenue that was like I always joke around about this. It's the bar that has had the most names in Cedar Rapids. It was like Cognac Club, it was Karma, it was Club Universe. You know the old Rapids Reproduction building on 2nd Avenue, right behind the new fire station.
No, I haven't been there.
There's a rug store that's on the corner, and
Yes.
right next to that is this bar that has been, I think, probably
it's going to be the Quarter Barrel.
yes,
It's going to be the Quarter
Oh,
Barrel.
that's going to be the
Yes.
Quarter Barrel?
yeah. So that'll
Okay.
be like its 12th reincarnation of bars.
Yeah.
And the Quarter Barrel the owners have gutted
Nice.
that place.
Nice.
Gutted it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. We were in Denver for the All-American City thing a year ago, actually today, and we went to a barcade, and it was just awesome. And I've been to the one in Des Moines too, so I'm excited that there will be.
When I even heard an inkling of it, I emailed him right away and said, "You've got to be on our podcast.
Yeah.
This sounds like my wife's going. I will never see you again."
And
it's a bar. It's also a brewery, and they have all the video games he grew up playing. And I'm like, it could be pretty rough.
And
for a
he
while.
was on our podcast, and if you want to
Chris
check
Ellis,
that,
yeah.
Chris
Yeah.
Ellis,
He's a good
So
guy.
and they're supposed to be opening in this month. Is what?
No, it'll be August.
August. Okay.
at least,
Yeah, at
I
least.
must have read something that was old recently.
Yeah, but no.
Well,
I think until
originally
very
he was
recently he was
Okay.
going to open it, but they've had a lot of. They're keeping everything historic,
Right.
so there's
So-
all kinds
yeah.
of things he's running
So
into.
every time they tear something down,
And
they
yeah.
find something behind it. Okay, so we talked about dance. We talked about donkey. God, I fucking love your donkey. I just want to give you a hug. I just want you to pull the donkey thing out and give you a hug because it was so fucking awesome. Anyway, I won't do that to you though. And we talked about dance. You do one-on-one lessons, right?
Yes, I have done a lot of privates. It's
Like
a little
private
bit.
private lessons like with couples. What
I can
about
do
that?
I can do couples as well. It just depends on what the couples want to do. Normally, I get contacted and people want me to choreograph a wedding dance, and
Sure.
I normally turn them to. There's a lot of really great ballroom studios because that's what they're really looking for. And I've taught that in the past. I actually worked for one of those studios for a short amount of time. But when they're wanting that, I normally say, here's somebody that's just that much better at that specific style. If it's hip hop, if it's jazz, tap, modern, ballet, I mean, all of those things, I'm your guy. But I normally go Dance New York or Canon Studios or TC Dance. There's a lot of ballroom studios in the area that I say, if that's what you're looking for, go for it. And they specialize in choreographing wedding dances and doing things like that. Now, if you want to do a flash mob at your wedding and you have more than 8 people, because I get a lot of people that contact me and they're
God,
like,
that'd be
I want to
so
do a
much
flash
fun.
mob, but they only have 8 people. And I'm like, that's not a flash mob. That's just a routine. You have to get people to come
You had to
out.
have a
Yeah.
mob.
Right. So we
so
actually
you've
tried
done
one in
that?
Cedar Rapids. We tried a flash mob.
it'd be good. Do a flash mob during the Nubo Music Festival with all those people down
Yeah.
there. That'd be pretty.
Now,
good.
isn't that on its? I mean, I haven't seen a flash mob. I haven't even seen anything
You need to
on
pull-
YouTube for a long
pull
time.
up for a long time. Okay,
Modern
you
Family,
saw,
Modern
but-
Family.
no,
did a
I
flash
s-
mob.
no,
It was
I've
great.
just recently.
Yeah,
I've
good one.
seen them, but it's
And
like
the one guy got mad. He's like, you cheated on me with choreography.
the gay couple.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like
I
that's
love
the worst kind of cheating.
Cam, he's the best.
But I haven't seen that in a long time. And I didn't know if that was one of those things that's kind of like, oh, it's popular, not so popular anymore.
Well, I think that the flash mob that was done by the Black Eyed Peas on Oprah's show,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it was like millions of people that were
Colossal.
involved. So there were some really.
Really?
Did you not see this
I
one?
didn't see this.
Oh my gosh! It's
Am I gonna have to pull it up? I'm gonna pull
Black
it up on
Eyed
YouTube.
Peas. I Got a Feeling. Oprah, and it was like a special show where they were outside.
If you do private lessons, what do you charge per lesson?
It really depends. 30-minute or 60-minute. I'm pretty flexible. I actually don't really discuss in public because depending on someone's situation, I may
Be a little more flexible.
be a
about it.
more flexible. I don't want to say this is my pricing,
price.
and then that scares people away. I try
Sure.
to do the best that I can with anybody.
Well, that's awfully nice of you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna check it out. Here we go. Here's the flash mob.
And Oprah does not know that this is happening. And you can probably go a little bit into it.
Yeah, I can zip ahead with that.
So Oprah's out there videotaping with their phone. She's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
How in the hell do they get so
Look at
many
that.
people?
And this is the perfect example of a flash mob where it's such simple choreography that anybody could really get it. And we actually set one up for the Irish Music Festival. It was a few years ago. And I had about 40 people show up that wanted to be involved. So we set up these rehearsals. And there was 40 people one time, there's 12 another, but you could come anytime that you wanted to. And then I also had a video out. And then I was like, all right, here's the first event. Show up at this time. And 3 people showed up. Oh. So it was like 3 people plus my dancers. And we had like 8 dancers at the time. And so I was like, yeah, that's not a flash mob. That's like my company performing and knowing things really well. And then these other people that aren't going to look necessarily as good. So we just had to cancel it. And it was unfortunate because those 3 people were looking forward to it. And then the next one that we had, nobody showed up. So I don't know if people kind of got like worried that they weren't going to be good enough, or I don't know. So flash mobs are interesting.
So if you think that Lovar is awesome as Donkey, and we've talked about the dancing, check out this, because nothing says really cool, maybe.
Yeah.
As this video. I really like this video. Because I am a stiff 40-year-old man.
Will you close that down? It kills me. Thanks, buddy.
Where was this set?
You got your sleeve done already, though. This is
pre-sleeve. This is pre-sleeve. This was actually on the roof of the water tower building.
Cool.
Great, because we're hoping to do some live broadcasts up there.
It's a great space up there. I have a few friends that live in the building, so they were able to let me get up there.
Who's your producer?
The guy that did the video, his name is Sam, and I'm going to butcher his last name. I think it's Fathala, but I'm not 100% sure. He actually went to Linmar and graduated last year. He just finished his first year at Drake, and he is currently an intern for... It's in the Cherry Building. I can't believe I'm blanking on their name.
MVP or Metro?
No.
Nope, in the Cherry Building.
Oh my gosh, it's Jen and...
Yeah, Genev, something like that. Yeah, good for him.
Oh my gosh, why?
Well, he did videos for Linmar, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a ton of stuff.
He got a ton.
He's brilliant. Yeah, he's a brilliant kid, and I don't think he's even doing like video editing as his major or anything.
Is this like Ecolifts?
And now this is in the basement of the Cherry Building.
Ecolifts boxes.
De Novo. Gosh, I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out. De Novo is the place that he's working.
They're a great
and they're
group.
A marketing group. Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard they just opened up a studio.
So is all that information...
A high-end kind of
nice.
Production studio.
Nice.
Is all that information still current?
It is, indeed.
Cool. So
that picture's not current. I got talked to by several people, and they're like, why aren't you smiling in your picture? So I have new business cards that have a similar picture with me smiling in it. They're like, you look too intense. I don't do personal training anymore.
No personal training.
No personal training. So just massage
what happened
therapy.
With that?
It was one of those things where I had done it for some friends and was successful, and they appreciated it. But at some point in time, you kind of have to change your focus. You have to go, I'm doing too many things. I have too many balls in the air.
Yeah.
And personal training was something that I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it wasn't my priority. I would much rather focus, especially on the yoga side of things, because within yoga therapy, you can do some personal training stuff. So,
all right.
And so do you do like big classes for yoga? Do you do individual stuff? Or how does that work?
I have a group class right now that's on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7 over in the Cherry Building. And, any given day we have from 2 people to 8 people. It kind of varies. It's just a drop-in class. So you don't have to. It's an hour-long class, 60 minutes, and it's $10.
Oh my God, dude. I think I'm going to do that. I've been doing it at home, and it's
completely
I don't
different.
mind it at home, but it'd be better to have a community. Do you know what I mean?
And see, I totally understand what you're saying. Yoga is one of those weird things, though. In India, yoga was never done as a group class. It was always done one-on-one. So it was the guru and the practitioner, or the yogi. And the reason why that is because nobody's body is the same. So in India, when it was done in a large group class, it was with young boys, because all of their bodies were the exact same. So you could instruct a class and say, do this, and everybody could do that thing. But then once they got older, it was... You need to find a guru that you can work with one-on-one. You practice this pose until you perfect it. Then you get the next pose. And now it's like, here's 800 million different poses. And every class, it's like you're learning something new. And so what I try to do is I also try to provide yoga therapy or a one-on-one private session for somebody who wants to come in and they're new to yoga, or maybe they're not new to yoga. Maybe they've been doing it for a long time in a group setting, but they never really know if they're doing it right. Dance and yoga are very similar in that regard, where there are certain times in class where you have to watch the teacher. But at the same time, if you're watching, you're creating tension in your body that you don't need. So you want to be able to hear what the teacher says and follow along, not visually, using the other senses, using sound. So if somebody says, on your next inhale, sweep your arms forward, let your hands float down through heart center into your standing forward fold, you should be able to understand that without looking. Because when you don't look, you're present, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So watching, you're always just a little bit behind. But if you can hear it and you can flow with it, then you're in that moment. And that's what yoga really is about being in that moment and trying to be as present as possible in the physical practice and then outside of the practice as well.
Wow, I might have to get my wife. I think the two of us could do it together.
Yeah, your first class actually with me is always free.
But even $20 a week is great.
Maybe I'll do a couple thing too. Like you and your wife, 15. First class is free. You and your wife, $15. That's for anybody. Let's just say that.
You're a good guy.
If like
That's awesome.
you come as a couple, now that's like, see it now I get, it's tricky because do you have to bring in your marriage certificate?
If we come in bickering.
Listen, yes, if you come in fighting, I'm like, oh, yep, there we go, 15.
We come in lovey-dovey. Oh, they're just dating.
Yeah. So you guys just met on your way over here to get the deal.
Or so maybe it is first class is free because that's how it always is. And then your second class as a couple is 15 and then it goes back to the regular price.
Okay. I'd be okay with that.
Let's make that, let's figure out a way to make that happen.
Now,
and by let's, I mean, I will figure out a way to make that happen. You know, as a business, as an entrepreneurial person, you're supposed to say like, we. So we at Movement Dance Company or
isn't it crazy? Like you have to learn a whole different lingo.
Oh yeah.
Todd and I recently, it's dawned on me, and I'm sure I think it's kind of dawned on Todd a little bit because he's kind of fallen into some more of these group settings with other entrepreneurs, other business owners. There's a whole like other society. There's like a whole nother level of reality.
Oh yeah.
Like you're like, I'm middle class, right? I'm middle class. I have a decent job. My wife is a nurse. She has a great job.
My wife is a nurse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
St. Luke's?
No, she's in Iowa City at a nursing home. She's an LPN.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Still cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So
much better than us. I don't know what you do.
Right. But I mean, you look at the world in a certain way. Like I can empathize, but I can't truly understand and see the world the same way somebody who is impoverished sees the world. And recently, jumping into this new business, like we just started doing this podcast almost 2 years ago out of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we thought, well, how can we make money doing this? You know, maybe we should take this up a notch. And, you know, jumping into this other realm and going to meetings with other people, you start to see that there is a whole other level of society that you are not aware of, that there's social cues, there's language, there's ideas, there's things that you have to keep in mind. And Todd, you recently went to a meeting and everybody is like introducing themselves and giving kind of their business plan. Not their business plan. What was it?
Their spiel.
Their little spiel.
Their mission statement.
Their little mission statement.
Like that, yeah.
But it was, I wasn't there, so I'm asking you, did it feel just a bit alien? Did you feel like you were just a bit out of your comfort zone, like you almost didn't belong because it was so different?
No, I mean, I think that I've been in retail long enough before I've done other things as my normal job.
Yeah.
But I've been in business meetings before. Now, I did get nervous as I knew no one there. Except for one person. And then the good part was I saw enough people go before me that I thought,
kind of knew the structure.
I just got to stand up, say my name, say this is what we do, what we can offer, say my name, and sit back down again. It's pretty straightforward. And so other than messing up when I did it, which is of course what I do.
It was the name thing, right?
No, it was what we provide. It's what I provide. He was.
I stood up. I say, I introduced myself, and Shane is the owner of the business. Sorry.
That's okay. I don't have to hide from it. You can use my real name.
And Matt is the owner of the business, and I said, he provides low quality, high cost production work.
And everybody starts
laughing, and so I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "I got to wrap it up." Sorry. He offers a high quality, low cost video production opportunity.
Sorry about that.
And everybody laughed. It was totally fine. But what's funny is that I practiced it,
right,
and then I was going through it in my head when I got there, and then I stood up and I said the opposite, which is why I'm totally convinced that I have some form of dyslexia, because it happens to me all the time that I reverse things all the time.
Really?
Yeah, all the time.
I'm really, really bad with names. So I do the on-field MC every now and again for the Colonels games.
Okay.
And there was this moment where it was a birthday, and I was talking to the kid, and it was one of those innings that just wouldn't end. And so probably 9 minutes, I'm just talking to the kid and talking to his friends. We're goofing around. I asked him 4 or 5 times what his name was, and then all of a sudden the out happened. Camera came on, and I was like, all right, we're here with the birthday. What's your name? And I had to put the mic in front of the kid's name for him to say his own name, because I just forgot it. And it's like, that happens all the time, where somebody will tell me their name numerous times, and then I'll see them. I'm like, yeah, it's like, I should know this.
Well, I'm like you though. Visual. He's talked about doing some of the editing. I was like, you would have to sit down next to me, and I would have to do everything. You guide me, but you doing it in front of me does nothing.
Right.
I have to have my hands on the computer. You show me, now I'll take that thing and do this and be monotonous.
Right. And what drives me crazy is I can't just talk something through.
Right.
So, I mean, for our situation in particular, I would have to sit next to you with my computer. You would have to sit next to me with your computer. And I would have to say, okay, watch where my cursor goes. Okay, you're going to click here and you're going to drag down. Let me see if you can. All right, you did it.
My hope would be that at some point we could do that, sit side by side, and we could both be working on 2 different things, but you could still walk me through things at the same time.
Eventually, I'm hoping this year we're going to be doing live shows.
Nice.
We're hoping to work something out with Penguins Comedy Club. Nice. We haven't even broached that conversation with the owner yet.
But Steve Shriver's.
I think you just did.
We kind of just did.
Steve Shriver's. When I talked to him about it, he was just about like, "Holy
shows.
cow!"
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities out there that people want to be engaged in. I know at 6:00 this is going to happen.
Yep.
So I'm going to get plugged into it, or I can tweet into it or something, which is going to be cool when we get the signs out here that I can say, "Hey, live show at Matt and Todd," and we can be.
I can be tweeting
out, and people can be like, "Oh shit, what's going on up there?"
Right.
So we're hoping to do that this year yet, and I'd love to get on top of that building.
Yeah.
We've also talked to Jackie Fetter about
Honest Living,
and we've done the float. Have you done the float?
I did.
You floated?
Yeah, I actually gave a massage to Jackie, and she traded a float for me, but I'm going to gift that float to my mom.
But so you haven't floated?
I floated myself
there
before, yes. So I did it one time, and I paid for it.
Right.
And then she came in for a massage, and she was like, "Do you just want to trade?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I had another float that I haven't used yet, so I'm gifting it to my mom.
So when you floated, did you?
Are you gonna rip on me now?
You get totally in, shut the door, and loved it, or what was your experience?
How'd you feel about it?
It's very interesting. As a yoga instructor, I should be able to calm my mind, but with everything that I do, it's very hard for me to shut down my brain. So I was able to relax, but I was thinking about just life and everything else that was going on. And it was probably the last 10 or so minutes where I felt like I stopped doing that and really relaxed into it. But I enjoyed it enough to want to do it again.
Yeah.
And try to approach it from, a different standpoint, where maybe it's a complete day of relaxation where I do a yoga practice in the morning, I go get a massage, and then I float. And so it's there's no real work that goes into that day.
Sure.
So I can completely just let go and relax.
Sounds super healthy too.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I've been meditating. I've been really trying hard to meditate at least 3 times in the morning. I've been working out now at 5:00 in the morning because I have a new job. And then my Tuesdays and Thursdays, I don't do that. What I do is I go work out. I get done at 6. I get home. I have time to meditate and get cleaned up. And I do like 10 minutes, but I am surprised at how hard that 10 minutes is sometimes. Like today, I was meditating, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to get a hold of Lori Moritz. And I literally sat up and reached for my phone, and I thought, I am right in the middle of a meditation. And I lurched up like, oh shit, I need to call Lori. And I thought, okay, just relax and get back centered again.
But do you feel like that might be part of the beauty of meditating? Like you relax and you're like, oh shit, I got to do this. It's almost like it's giving you an opportunity to clear your mind.
It's given us an opportunity to close our mind or to clear our mind. But there are always going to be things until we can get to this is where yoga can start getting, weird, where it's like that higher state of being where the mind and the body are so connected that there's no distractions. There are people that can meditate for hours and not be distracted by anything outside of them. What I try to encourage people to do is anytime that creeps in, like the lurch, the fact that you were able to go, no, I'm in this is a huge step, because most people would have still picked up their phone. They would have done whatever they needed to do. And I'm that way. It's like I start my morning by grabbing my phone, seeing if I have emails, when I should just go, you know what? I need to take this time to relax a little bit. So I think that you're actually in a really good place.
Oh, thanks,
the fact
man.
that you were able to go back into it. And yoga is the same way. A lot of people go, okay, this is like the 8th down dog that I've been doing. My shoulders are killing me. Acknowledge the fact that that stuff is happening, but then go, and I just need to breathe and try to reconnect and get back into the practice being as present as possible.
Nice.
All right, so a couple of questions.
Sorry, let me go back real quick. You were
Okay.
talking about the office and the like going to that meeting and feeling alienated. I've been doing like my own business stuff for a very long time, and there are moments where I step into a situation like that and I'm like, why am I here? Like I don't belong here. I don't know what's going on at all. And people are using terms. Like I was on the board of directors for Legion Arts for a little while, and I would show up to meetings. I'm like, I have no clue what's going on.
Are you guys speaking a different
Yeah,
language?
it was
Because
that-
I
it's
have
that-
no
yeah.
clue what that word is. Was it a word
Yeah.
or was it a
And so
group of letters?
I would ask these what seemed like juvenile questions.
Yeah.
But then somebody would come up to me afterwards and they'd be like, thanks for asking that question. It was actually a fresh perspective on it. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So I do have something to offer that's, slightly different than what I feel. It's like if I ever showed up to a meeting in my shorts and t-shirt, which is what I wear on a regular basis based off of what I do, I feel out of place. But I don't have to wear a shirt and a tie to have my opinions actually matter in situations like that.
And what I do in situations like that, I think that, and I don't know if it's my profession or what it is, but I kind of like own it. I just kind of own the idea that I am never going to know everything. I'm never going to know enough. I may not, do all the things right to fit into this group. And at the same time, me knowing what these groups are doing or what they're not doing, people are in the same boat as I am.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I just feel like every time I enter a situation, whether it's socially or it's professionally and it's group or one-on-one, I'm just like, I'm just doing the best I can do, period.
Yeah.
If somebody's giving me shit for that, then that's on them, not me, because I'm just trying to do my best. It's like you and I talking about the editing the other day. Fuck it. We're going to know what we know, and we're not going to know what we don't know, and we're just going to do the best we can do, and we'll be upfront, honest with people, and we go from there.
Yeah, true.
I use iMovie.
iMovie. Hey, that's what I used when we first started.
Well, and I don't know if you've I used iMovie in like 2003, 2004, and was like, you can't mess with me. I'm editing an iMovie. And then all of a sudden this new version came out and I was like, I don't know how to use it anymore. Like they made subtle changes that were supposed to make it more user-friendly. Yeah. And all of a sudden I couldn't do stuff that I was really comfortable with. And I feel like GarageBand was the same way.
Premiere Pro is the same way.
So, yeah, I think it's gonna continue to happen. I mean, we have to be lifelong students.
Oh yeah,
is what I think in my head. I try to remember that, but I'm sorry. I try to keep that in mind. But just recently, we upgraded from using Premiere Pro CS5 to Premiere Pro CC, Creative Cloud. And I thought, hey, Todd, by the way, Creative Cloud has this new special effect filter where it takes the fisheye out of the GoPro cameras. This is awesome. So I applied the special effect to the footage. It did. Thought it looked great. And then I tried to render out the movie. I tried to render everything. 14 hours later, Now, this may seem like your typical laptop, but this is every fucking thing I could put in, and this is everything Apple offered me.
Right.
I put into this laptop.
I always love that starting at this price because, like, really?
Bare bones.
I don't need memory. I don't, yeah.
Right.
I hear you.
So I'm used to using the Premiere Pro 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew roughly a 3-hour podcast or a 2-hour podcast would run this long to render everything. Because I generally do the same effects, the same color grading, things like that.
Branding.
Right. I know about how long it should take. It was taking 4 times as long. And
Amazing.
with this new Creative Cloud, I was just racking my brain thinking, I've really fucked up by purchasing the latest edition.
Right.
This new edition is not making my life any better. And then I went in and I took off the one special effect that I had applied that I wasn't applying previously, which was the GoPro.
Right.
And as soon as I hit render, it was like, done.
Jeez.
So so a little 411 for the people who are messing with GoPros and thinking that fisheye effect that you need to get rid of it, that's going to really extend your rendering time, and just expect that. Okay, so I wanted to ask you this.
Yes.
Okay, because I had 2 questions and hopefully I'll remember the second one. People really, I think, get confused or they jump to conclusions when they think of yoga and they think of spirituality.
Correct.
And they think of, I'm not going to fucking say Om.
We had born again Christians that would tell us that they would never do meditation.
I'm never going to do meditation.
We're like, why?
I'm never going to do. I'm never going to do
praying
yoga.
to a different God. I'm like, what are you talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
So
and
have you run up against things like that, and how do you settle people down when they get so freaked out?
I haven't necessarily run into it, other than there was a time where I did some training. It was actually to finalize my 500-hour training. So I did my training was actually really weird. I started with this 40-hour training that was specific to dancers. So James Miller would go, hey, you're a dancer. You've already taken anatomy and kinesiology and you know how to pick up choreography. So I can teach you way faster than I can teach most other people. So I did this 40-hour, which basically Yoga Alliance didn't recognize. So then I immediately was like, okay, I need to do my 200. I did my 200. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. So I went all the way up to my 500. The 500-hour training, they brought in, her name is Mara, I want to say Healy, I believe is her last name. And I can't remember off the top of my head where she's based out of. But she has studied with this guy, Andre Lapa, who is the founder of Universal Yoga. And he has studied I can't even remember all the details about it. But his style is universal. And within that, they do a lot of chanting. They do a lot of meditation. They do a lot of the Om. They do a lot of the Sanskrit sayings over and over and the repetition, the mantras. And so after doing that, I actually should start a little bit further back. I had a really hard time with Namaste. And it was because I had a choreographer that I had worked with a while back, and he would end rehearsals by saying it. And his rehearsals were very frustrating as a choreographer myself. And so I related that saying with this guy. And so at the end of my practices and my classes, I just wouldn't say it. And so I finally got to a place where I connected it with a more personal meaning to me. I am a Christian and my belief is in God. And so my practice is focused that way. So when I'm meditating or I'm saying namaste, it's that which is spiritual in me recognizes that which is spiritual in you, which what's in me doesn't necessarily have to be in you, but there is an acknowledgement of something beyond us. Sure. And so that's what I'm saying. When I place my hands at heart center, I'm doing it in a very specific way because when people pray, this is what they do. So anytime that I go here, it's a moment that I can connect with my God, which I'm not judging anyone else that has a different God. This is for me. This is a personal thing. When I lead my classes, I use more English than I do Sanskrit. if I was to say, hey guys, want to come and take a ballet class? Okay, so pas de bourrée, tome, whatever. I started speaking in French, you would be like, I don't understand that. So it's the same thing in yoga. When people only use the Sanskrit, it makes people go, I can't connect to that. So I want people to connect in my class as much as possible. The reason why I brought up Mara and her class, I tried to introduce an Om in a class, and I had like 6 people, and I said, okay, so we're going to try this today. So everybody take a nice deep inhale in, and we're going to exhale on the word Om. And I was the only one Oming in the class. And so I immediately was like, all right, this doesn't work for my situation. I tried it once and I'm cool with it. It's not something that I personally think that is needed, but yoga is not a spiritual discipline. Yoga is a personal discipline, if that makes sense. So to each person, it should feel a little bit different. To do a physical practice, which is the asana practice, so there are these 8 limbs of yoga. And so within that, there are things that can feel more spiritual, but you have to dive pretty deep into yoga to fully understand some of these things. In Western society, we focus on the asana practice, which now has become a group thing. And so within that, people use chanting, they use, and each teacher is going to be slightly different. And it's no different than what we were talking about with dance teachers. You have to go and take from different people and figure out what works for you. Because somebody may go, oh my gosh, when we laid up in Shavasana at the end of class, which is relaxation pose or corpse pose, and she was meditating and chanting and started dinging things and doing, it was awesome. And other people were like, what the hell was that? So you might not want that class.
Because it might take you out of that relaxed
Exactly. The only thing, there are certain things that I do say, and I try to encourage people to understand some of the basic Sanskrit, just because I think that it's interesting to learn. Like downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And it's something that a lot of people use, but I never go, Adho Mukha Svanasana, go. It's like, right. I go, all right, and now inhale, exhale, and raise your hips into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana.
You don't like that one because you have tight hamstrings.
But there's variations on variations and modifications on every single yoga pose that's out there, and a good teacher will see the struggles in the room and will then suggest, if you're feeling any tension in your hamstrings, bend your knees. If this is still too much for you, relax down into child. They'll give you all of the things that you need for that.
Child's pose.
As they're
Child's
watching
pose
you
is my favorite.
try to do things.
I love child's pose.
Yeah. Child's pose and Shavasana at the end of practice.
Honestly, child's pose chokes me a little bit. I feel a little choky. I when I put in child's pose, when I'm on my knees,
all the way out.
So are you in child's pose 2, which is arms extended?
Arms are extended,
knees
and
separated.
My chest kind of rises up into my neck.
So what you have to think is shoulder blades pressing down and away from the neck. So when you do that, you create space.
Yeah,
but when you lift, so basically every guy, has a similar tendency. Their shoulders creep up.
Yeah.
So when you're here, you feel that. But when you press down and away, you create space. And there's also ways of using bolsters or blocks to, aid in.
Right. My only experience with yoga has been P90X. All right, P90X yoga,
an extreme yoga workout.
It's a workout, and it's too much for me because
it's too much for most people.
It's an hour and a half of yoga,
which and an hour and a half of a very physical asana practice, which is the physical like postures and stuff.
Right.
That's too much for most people that are new to yoga.
Yeah.
I actually tried the P90X yoga one time and immediately was like, I don't agree with the sequencing. I don't agree with some of the approach to it.
Really?
That's me personally. There are other people that absolutely love it, but most of those people that absolutely love it, I don't know if they've taken other classes.
Sure.
If that's
your only thing.
Right. So try out some other things and you might go, crap, what was I doing? Or you may go, no, I really do love the way that they approach it. There's actually a style that is catching on right now, and I'm doing a training in it. It's called Broga. Yeah.
Really?
It's accessible to men and women, but the focus is on how do you get men into a yoga class and sequence in a way that is very male focused. So it's still the workout aspect of it, but it's done in a way that's not spiritual. That's, it's all of the things that most guys look for in a workout, but still allow them to go, hey, I want to continue to do a yoga class. So,
yeah, because I think primarily when people think yoga, they think chicks, right?
Well, David Kim is a yoga instructor. I think I have some of his DVDs. I've tried them at home. He's an Asian fellow with long black hair.
It's not David.
It's not.
I have one of his DVDs.
Yeah,
it's morning yoga.
Yeah, it's the Gaiam. It's GAIAM is the brand.
Yes. The sad part is
it's Rodney Yee.
Nice job.
Yes.
The sad part is I put in yoga Kim because I thought it was his name. You know what popped up? 1 million images of Kim Kardashian doing yoga.
Jeez.
What?
Yeah. GAIAM.
And it's Rodney Yee.
And I liked him because it was very. It didn't scare me.
Yeah. His approach to it is, he's a definite yogi, but his approach to especially those DVDs is that he tries to make it very accessible.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have one of his DVDs, and
I think I have that morning one as well.
Yeah, because it has like 5. It's yoga for every day of the week.
Yeah,
is what I have. Which it's very quick. It's not very long.
It's a half an hour.
Yeah.
A long, drawn out type thing.
Excuse me.
There was
and right there, like me personally, when I started doing yoga, if I would have opened up this website and looked and it said my yoga and that dude was in that pose, I'd be like, yeah, no.
Well, I've been seeing Adam Levine was in a yoga pose the other day where his legs were through to the side and he was holding a yoga pose, and I thought, what the hell is going on? Yeah. And supposedly it's a higher level yoga pose. I don't know.
I don't know exactly which pose he was in, but if it's what I'm thinking, it's easier than it looks.
Oh, it looks cool.
Because you're creating.
Your knees are on your elbows, so
right.
It's kind of like
and one leg's hooked over the other. Yeah, I have a picture of me.
All right,
so
what a pussy! I changed everything around. I'm just kidding.
All right,
I like Adam
I've
Levine.
made this comment before, and I'm going to ask you if you think that it's not relevant, but if you agree with it. Okay. Yoga, if done on a regular basis by everybody, would cure a shit ton of ailments.
I think exercise as a whole, but yoga using the concept that the mind and the body aren't separate, absolutely. Because when most people exercise, they're working out their body. In yoga, the goal really is to create union. And that union is between the mind and the body. So when you're working out the body, you're also working out the mind, and you're creating stillness within both so you can be as present as possible. That way, yes. Okay. Just as a physical, how you, in movies where you see, or in Heroes, I love that show, and I think it came back.
It's going to be rebirthed.
Like that Japanese thing where it's like, and here's your exercise break, and they're all on the rooftop doing some kind of physical calisthenic type thing. That not necessarily, because if everyone's just out, prisoners out in the yard working out or doing something for their physical body. But where's the mind aspect? Because I think the mind needs just as much healing as the body does. And so when you can bring those two things together, I think absolutely.
Because I think about my own personal struggle. My full-time job that I'm in right now, I sit all day. And you don't really have that opportunity to stretch and be limber.
But do you?
Or do I?
You've tried.
I do try somewhat, but what my point is, I think people feel crappy. I think people their muscles get tight, and they lay down or they sit down and they watch TV and they put themselves in postures and positions to where their body gets tight and feels terrible.
Yep.
And I feel like if you were to stretch, if you were to even doing the physical, not even being mind present. I mean, I think that takes it to a whole nother level, which is good, which is great.
And I guess when you said ailments, I wasn't thinking just physical. I was thinking like, would we be more peaceful?
Sure.
Okay.
I thought the same thing when you said that.
But yeah, like,
you're right.
would obesity potentially go down? I think probably so. There's that video of that guy that was injured.
Oh God, yeah.
And he was like huge, and all of a sudden he started doing yoga.
And he had like walkers. He could barely walk on his own feet.
Yeah,
really.
And that was just he was being very specific about like every day I'm going to do yoga, and I'm going to, and when you start doing a yoga practice, and I'm actually kind of out of shape right now because my personal practice has been suffering with everything else that I have going on. But when you start to do yoga on a regular basis, your body starts to crave different things. Like you don't necessarily want to eat the exact same foods that you've always eaten. There are days where if I'm doing a serious practice and I'm teaching dance classes and stuff, the idea of a burger with bacon and cheese and all of those things used to be like, oh man, that would be my cheat meal. And now it's like, I'm going to have a chicken breast and, some spinach. And, it's like your body starts to change and it wants different things.
That makes me think that I don't know where I heard this, but somebody said that they had a girlfriend or somebody they knew who were, yo-yo dieting and were working out and were good athletes, but still had struggles with eating. And then all of a sudden they started doing yoga. And yoga stopped all the yo-yoing and they got centered. They got mind and body centered, and it just changed everything.
And a lot of that has to do with breath work. Because if you think about it, when you say you go to the gym and you lift weights, you're not necessarily focused on your breathing.
But that is an aspect of it that you can't deny when you're working out.
Right. When you work out, it's like you go, like I'm gonna bench press. And it's hard for me because like I'm very aware of my breath. I know when I need to inhale.
But not a lot of people do. I've been to the gym and people are inhaling when they're bringing their when they're inhaling when they're pushing, and I'm like, whoa. Exhale when you push.
And so then all of a sudden, if you start thinking about what the breath does and how it messes, it changes the diaphragm in and out and the expanding, and all of a sudden all of, your organs are starting to get worked as well. And so you start to feel this change here. And so, your body starts to crave the nutrients that it needs. Like the things that you want and the nutrients that you need are so completely different for most people. And so, when I was doing my yoga training specifically, I dropped weight like crazy. And I felt really, really great. But then as soon as I get stressed by life and I'm traveling a lot, it's like, I'm going to stop at McDonald's and get a salad. Cheeseburger, and it's not, it's not even McDonald's. Normally it's Jimmy John's, and Jimmy John's is quote unquote not as bad.
Right.
But when you have it
terrible.
every day,
the bread's the worst.
Yeah.
It tastes great, but it's just white bread.
And who's going to get it? They have the unwich, which is the no bread. It's like, but why am I getting Jimmy John's? I can get deli meat and call it a day.
All right. We need to kind of wrap things up.
Yeah, we do need to wrap things up because LD, you need to get out of here. It's 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
You sure? Do you have other things to go do?
Of course he does. He's got a life.
You're busy and you have a kid.
8-month-old baby. Oh my God! Somebody's changing diapers that he should be changing.
Check in with.
Yeah,
hey, listen.
If
I just emailed you
we're
the thing
4
that he
feet
talked
apart,
about,
and you couldn't just tell me. You had to email me.
Because you can just click on it and pull it up on your freaking screen. It's the thing that he talked about, the gentleman who changed his life doing yoga.
Oh yeah,
it's really neat. He's like, I think he's like a Vietnam vet.
Yeah,
he has some pretty.
He looks
serious...
like injured when he was jumping out of a plane and like landed or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
All right, what is the name of this guy? I want to find it.
Great clap.
Thanks. Yeah, I bitch slapped my.
If you type into YouTube, man changed his life doing yoga, it'll be the first thing that pops up.
Life doing yoga. Oh, with yoga. How about that? With yoga.
There you go. There it is.
Here it is.
Arthur's inspirational story.
Starts
with a Mountain Dew commercial.
Jeez. Which is a pretty sweet commercial, though.
Yeah, it's an awesome commercial.
Yeah, wow. All those matches get lit. That's pretty cool. Do the do.
Paid a lot of money.
Now, did you pay attention to how the...
Look at this dude.
All right.
So, people saying that yoga changes lives. This is the perfect example of... And could he have done it a different way? Maybe.
Sure.
Who knows?
Sure,
but for this guy, it worked exactly how it should have. He's on walkers. He's
Oh, I have seen this guy. Yeah. I have seen
He's on a lot of medication. I mean, there's a lot of things going on.
Right.
And half the time you get off those meds and you can help yourself out so much.
Yeah.
Oh, paratrooper. That was me.
Too many jumps, landing. Yep. I mean, you can only imagine.
You hit like a sack of shit.
Yeah. And so basically, he had to decide whether or not to give up. Yeah. And so he gave it one last shot with yoga and, could barely stand without his support. And that's the other thing that's super frustrating. A lot of yoga instructors turned him away. It's it's because when you are a yoga instructor, you get taught a very specific way of teaching. And you're taught okay, I have to do everything this way. And so when you first start teaching, it's very intimidating for somebody to walk into your class with something very specifically wrong with them.
Right.
Like I have scoliosis or I have had several knee surgeries or whatever it is. And so to be open and accepting and say, hey, I'm going to give you as much attention as possible, that's the type of teacher that more teachers need to be out there. But this guy's willing to fall over and willing to not let that hinder him. And a lot of people, once they're like, well, I can't do that, they just stop.
That's going to be painful too. Good gracious. I'd be all over that block, buddy. Oh man, I have that block.
The fact that he's not even using the block right now is crazy. And maybe he's not using it because if people turned him away, how does he know?
What? I wonder what is he watching right now that he's doing yoga.
I think it's the Diamond Dallas Page. He has
Dallas Page
I can't remember what the name of his yoga is.
Ooh, this gets me misty.
Yeah, and he has all of the prayer beads and the mandala. I think that's what it's called.
It has been so long. I have been so stiff for so long. I wouldn't even know what it would feel like to be. Like I was watching your yoga video going, what is it like to be a strong man and also flexible? I think people feel like they have to give up on one to achieve the other.
Right.
Well, once he sees a little bit of success, man, he jumps on it.
Yeah.
That's the cool part.
And that's the thing. It's like, in this video, you don't see how long it took him to get to this point. So people that watch it, they're like, well, maybe it was 2 days and all of a sudden he's like, or maybe it was 6 months or maybe it was 2 years.
Right.
But for everybody, the journey is going to be slightly different.
Right.
And I do agree with you that there are people out there that that go, well, I'm not going to do yoga because I'm not flexible. And that doesn't make sense to me. Because yoga will help you get there. There are women that only want to take classes that focus on flexibility because they struggle with strength. But you're trying to create balance not only in the body and the mind, but within the body. Like you want to be as strong as you are flexible and as flexible as you are strong, because then your body's functioning to its full capacity or to its full ability.
I always feel sad when I hear people talk about going places and getting turned away.
Yeah.
And I was like, even if it's not just, even it could be like personal trainers and things, I'm like, why would you not give somebody a chance? It just seems kind of, I don't know.
All right. That I'm going to take the opposite approach on that. I'm going to be devil's advocate.
Do it.
Okay. I think it's great to turn certain people away because if I don't have the knowledge base to help you, I should be able to say, listen, I can't help you. I don't have it in me. I don't know what I need to do to help you, but maybe let me give you a referral to somebody else. Let me try to show you.
If you have that referral, awesome. If you don't, and you're simply turning that person away, because here's the referral. Hey, we have a group class next Tuesday. Between now and Tuesday, I'm going to look up every single thing that I can on what this person said is their issue. So when that person shows up to my class, I'm prepared. And if I don't know what it is, I'm going to connect, to somebody else and go, hey, James Miller, I did training with you. Can you tell me how you would approach this situation? Or talk to another yoga teacher, because I don't want to be the person that's known for turning somebody away when I could have actually helped them, but I'm limiting myself. You know what I mean? So if I say I don't have the knowledge is in front of you. You can jump on Google. You can jump on any piece of, I can go, hey Siri, right. To a certain extent. Right. And I think that for me as a dancer, for me as a choreographer, the internet has played such a huge role. I remember when I first started, there was no YouTube.
Yeah.
So I don't get out and I'm not able to go and take classes on a regular basis, even when it comes to yoga. But I can learn something new every single day if I choose to do that. So I can help somebody even if I don't know right now if I can.
And that's why you need to go to Lovar Davis Kidd and do yoga. I want to do it. I actually want to come see you.
My wife and I think it'd be.
I don't want. And there's also the free class every Thursday night at the market, and that's several different teachers.
And that was something else that I wanted to bring up. But it's at the end,
which is fine. Quick cap. So the Meet Me at the Market is every Thursday night at the Nubo Market. Registration starts as early as I believe 5 o'clock or 5:30, and there's running, there's cycling, there are people that go on walks. They have like couch to 5K, and then I helped coordinate the yoga aspect of it. So there's several teachers that we bring in. Once you've registered with the market, they will send you an email every week telling you who the teacher is, what the style is. The next time I teach is sometime in July, and it's going to be an acro yoga class, which is a partner yoga, so you guys could bring your wives, and that would be awesome. Your kids would actually enjoy it. It's accessible to everybody. But then you can use the summer to go, I really appreciated this teacher. Where do they teach at? I'm going to go take their class. Or I didn't like this person. That it's you get to try everything out, and it's free, and it's outdoors, right across the street from you guys. Thursday nights. The yoga's from 6 to 7 o'clock.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So check him out, Lovar Davis Kidd, and you can check him out at his Facebook page, which is very awesome indeed. How often are you on this? Are you on this all the time?
I have notifications sent everywhere. My Apple Watch, my phone, my
Apple Watch.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get my Apple Watch.
You also have
movementdancecompany.org. Movement spelled artistically with no E's. MOVMNT dancecompany.org. Located in the Cherry Building at Soul Studio, which is 329 10th Avenue Southeast. I need to update the website as you're scrolling through it. But we do have classes every Sunday. The rest of the month of June is all tap classes. And then we go into contemporary jazz classes, jazz technique in July. And we're rotating. The summer's a little bit different. Normally during the year, during our academic year, I guess, we rotate styles every Sunday. So we go ballet, jazz, hip hop, tap, and then we just cycle through that. This summer, we're trying something slightly different where we're doing a style per month. So we're starting with tap, we're doing jazz, we're doing hip hop, and we're not doing ballet this summer. We're actually going to end with musical theater jazz. So
I might get my son in with you for the hip hop class.
I was just
for
that
month.
Ask,
is that okay to just drop it?
Yeah.
For
classes? Oh yeah. We actually right now are going 8 and up.
8 and up.
Yep. A lot of parents ask the question, when should I start my kid in dance? And it may be mean for me to say this, but when they know their left from their right, and if you play a song and the song is in 4/4, which is the normal pop song, and they can find beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is my left foot. This is my right. That's a great time for them to start.
Because there's a lot of kids, especially my kids, they love watching YouTube. They love watching the videos, and they're just throwing themselves all over the place in the living room. Great time during the summer to get them out.
Oh yeah,
and get them exercise.
And all of my classes are drop-in. There's no need to pre-register for anything. If you know that you're going to miss 4 classes and you just want to pay for one, so the way that we do it is it's $15 per class. Drop in anytime you want. If you want to pay for 4 classes or the whole month, it's $50. So you get a $10 break. There's nothing else. Like you show up and you dance. If you don't have tap
once a week,
it's once a week every Sunday.
Okay.
Yep. And if you don't have tap shoes, you don't need them for our tap class. You don't have to buy anything special. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then there are performance opportunities involved with the classes that we do. So if somebody wants to come and they want to take class, and then all of a sudden their kid's like, but I want to dance more. We have a company, and so the company gets to perform throughout the year. So that's something that they can get more information from me on the website or shoot me an email at staff@movementdancecompany.org. Movement spelled with no E's.
LD, I really appreciate you taking the time to come in today.
Not a problem.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you and meet you.
Yeah, and hopefully that answered a lot of questions for people who wondered about dance, or they were wondering if there was a cool, really neat place for yoga, which sounds like you specify for each person. It's just...
Yeah, I limit my class sizes when it comes to dance and when it comes to yoga because the one-on-one attention is so important, in my opinion.
Right.
The market classes are awesome. And this last class was indoors and there were 40 people, but the class before that was a market record. We had 86 people out there doing yoga. I can't walk around to 86 people and make sure that they're doing everything right, but I can limit, the size in my space. My space could probably fit up to about 22 people, but I limit my class sizes to 12 to 15 people so I can give them that one-on-one attention.
So bring your yoga blocks, bring your yoga mat.
We have some blocks, we have some mats, but if you have your own stuff, go ahead and bring it. I have another teacher who is going to start teaching at the end of the summer in the space, teaching a Wednesday night yoga class. And then once I have my Broga certification, I'm going to start offering a guy-specific yoga class.
Awesome.
And then the class that you teach during the week now is Thursday nights?
That is actually Tuesday nights.
Okay.
But then once Meet Me at the Market's done, I'm going to teach Tuesday 6 to 7 and Thursday 6 to 7 in my space.
Gotcha.
So that'll be October 1st is actually when the Thursday night class will start.
And do you have any upcoming acting gigs? Are you going to do any donkey stuff?
I'm not doing any donkey stuff. That was a one-time. Did
it give you a spark for the acting bug, though?
Well, I've always done it. I've always been involved in theater. Normally, I at Theater Cedar Rapids, I have been in West Side Story as Bernardo. I was in Anything Goes as a chorus member. The very first year that TCR did the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which was an off-site location, I was Dr. Frankenfurter. I was also Rocky the second year they did it. So I've done a lot of different things with theater. That wasn't like, the first time I had jumped in there. But it was nice because I had a lot of people that came up to me and they're like, you're really, you were a good actor. And I've been in there, either you're a good actor or you're really funny or, oh my gosh, I didn't know that you sang, So I got pigeonholed for a very long time as being the dance guy. Like there's anything dance related, go to him. And so people got to see me in a slightly different light. They got to see me be funny. They got to, see me, hear me sing, and I may not have the world's greatest voice, but I think people appreciated the fact that I sold that character to the best of my ability. And so I'm attempting to do things that are performance-wise less about the dance and more about everything else. Theater Cedar Rapids is going to be auditioning for an actual improv troupe in October. And so a bunch of us just went to the improv camp in Wisconsin. This is the second year that it's happened. And it's a bunch of people from Chicago that host it. But then people from all over the world have come to this camp, and it's only the second year, and there are 250 people doing improv comedy. And so one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to talk to the people at Penguins and see if they want to get us in on a regular rotation and do improv stuff there.
Awesome.
Jeff Johnson's a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
And just the support of local supporting local is always really cool in my opinion. Mm-hmm. There are a ton of people. I talked about Revival Theater Company a little bit. They did a production of Pippin, and there are a ton of people from Theater Cedar Rapids that went to that show. And it was like, we're going to support, because that community is just, it's a small community that's close. And instead of people going, well, I'm not doing that or I'm not doing that, everybody just supports and loves. And I mean, that's what it's all about.
And you know what? A lot of talented people in Cedar Rapids.
There's a ton.
The best part was this. The way this started was we started talking about where he said there's nothing really to do in Cedar Rapids. It's a boring town.
That was my very first episode was Labor Day.
And I said, listen, you haven't even begun to scratch the surface of the people that are around here. Yeah. And so I think of him. I think of Chuck. I think of Scott Takis. I think of Kevin Bassett and Corey Bassett. I'm just like, holy cow! I mean, it's really a rich area. And
I saw Kevin this morning. So on the golf course in the rain.
So if you're just sitting around,
no. Oh, I was just in that area. I've golfed once. I worked for a company called Universal Cheerleading Association. My very first camp in 1998 was a resort camp. So we taught for like 4 hours, and then we had the rest of the day. And one dude was like, hey, anybody want to golf? And I was like, yeah, I've never been. We did 9 holes, and I loved it. And I haven't golfed since 1998. I don't know why.
Maybe we'll take you out sometime because we suck.
We're terrible. Good. We just drink a lot.
We just drink a lot. Yeah.
Which is kind of par for the course.
Par for the course.
Excuse the pun.
Oh, hey.
Excuse the pun.
Good job.
Sorry.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah, that's it for tonight. Oh, hey, should we do the little? Should we talk about our sponsors?
Exit. Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Sorry.
They pay for it, buddy. They pay for it.
You want t-shirts, hats, paraphernalia,
sauce hockey.
Sauce hockey.
Yeah,
Boom.
I'm going to check that out tonight.
All right, that's awesome. Saucehockey.com. Sweet Raw Joy, you want some desserts to live for, something that's good for your tummy? You want to have a little treat, little something?
I'll never turn her down again. I'm sorry that I didn't grab some when I had the chance.
SweetRawJoy.com. Todd.
I totally could have given LD some for sure.
Yeah.
Some what?
You want to have a great time. If you don't know what you're going to do on a weekend and you want to have a great time, go to penguinscomedyclub.com. See what comedians will be performing. And if you want to schedule a comedian or performer or dueling piano, go to usaentertainmentagency.com and deal with Jeff Johnson because he is a great person. I really, fully, truly believe that. So he's worked with us, and I think he's a great person. So do it for yourself. He's a great person. Should I say he's a great person one more time?
Yeah,
great person. Jeff Johnson.
Who is?
And if you're looking to buy or sell a home, go to revolutionrealtyteam.com, and they have a really cool 3D tour.
Yeah, just go to their website to use that. That's so cool.
It's pretty amazing.
And then buy a house.
Or if you like, I wonder how I should decorate my house.
Goddamn home. God bless America. Is that huge house.
Look at that. You know what?
All I can think about is cleaning all that.
Walking through the
dusting,
walls.
The dusting.
The dusting. Yeah, that sounds bad.
I'm going to go upstairs.
Jump off the stairs.
Yeah, can you go off the stairs? Go off that ledge.
I can't. I don't think I can.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
Oh. It won't let you do it?
No, I don't think it won't let me do it. It won't let me do it. All right. Well, anyway, go to Revolution Reality Team.
Okay, so how did you just go past the mirror and there was no reflection? Are you a vampire?
What?
Totally a vampire.
Hold on a second. Where's this mirror thing?
Right there. Oh, there's the machine.
You see the
yeah,
machine.
it's right there.
You see the
I
machine.
see
it.
Right there. All right. Let's check them out if you want to buy or sell a home. Right there. 5%, right? Mm-hmm. Cards Against Humanity. Buy it or download it for free. Whatever. It's a great game. You have a great time with it. And it gives you an out. It gives you a reason to be a terrible person, especially if you're actually like really feeling that way and you just want to say it. You've been wanting for a long time to tell grandma that she's a bitch.
We haven't seen dem titties in a really long time, though.
Titties. Listen, I just said grandma, and then you brought up dem titties.
I wasn't listening to what you said, so my apology.
That's pretty much the whole podcast. And you obviously check out Lovar Davis Kidd on Facebook. If you want to see a really neat video, check out, well, that wasn't Lavar's video, but if you want to see a very buff dude be very flexible and limber, that's still not it. Still not it. I'm going backwards here.
This is horrible.
Is this bad? Is this not professional? This isn't the way I wanted it to turn out. Not him.
Yeah.
That's not him.
Andre Lapa with his leg behind his head.
That was Andre
crazy.
Lapa. Oh, I've been using Headspace to meditate. It works out really cool. Have you ever tried that?
I have not.
This is Lovar Davis Kidd. So check that out on YouTube and movementdancecompany.org. Todd?
Yes.
I'm exhausted.
Take a deep breath.
Now it's time for you to take over.
If you want to follow us, make sure you hop into our website, which is tpspproductions.com. While you're there, you can scroll down to the Primal Scream Podcast. You'll see a donations button on there. Anything you donate to us, we will pay our overhead and we'll give to a local charity here in town.
Well, whatever's
so no
left
cost.
over.
That's what I just said. And then you can get on Facebook and follow us. You can get on Twitter and follow us at Matt and Todd. You can also get on Stitcher and iTunes to download and subscribe. And YouTube is where a lot of people come and watch the show and listen. My brother very often starts it on YouTube and minimizes it and listens to it while he taps away on his keyboard. So
I know it says only 88 videos. Uh-oh, an error occurred. I know it says only 88, episode 88, but 89 is coming out this Sunday.
Yeah.
And this one's 90.
90.
Dude, you're 90.
90.
Our 100th episode, we're going to have a little party here. So we'll let you know when that happens, okay?
Yeah,
maybe that's your first live.
Nope, that won't be happening.
He gets so nervous. Like, I want to buy the equipment to go live,
it's
to
like,
do live stuff.
It's De Niro, my friend.
Well, after this episode, tons of people are going to donate. So
Amen.
Maybe. Right?
And then you have
Totally.
9 more episodes to buy the equipment.
I dig it. See, look at all
Sounds
these
good to me.
people. Look at all these awesome people. Kevin Bassett was on.
Oh, look, you got Quinn, Lionbridge.
Oh, yeah.
Lionbridge.
We did it in the brewery. It was awesome.
Nice.
Right. Mike Armstrong. If you've ever wondered what an older comedian does sexually, check out Mike Armstrong.
The
Never
best part-
crossed my mind.
The best part, though, is that he was devoted, in love with his wife. She dumps him and ruins him, right? The poor guy is just devastated. And now he's on a fucking free-for-all.
It's like a binger.
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
He's binging.
But great stories, though.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
If you
Cobble
ever
Hill.
want to know how to be a strong man to understand yourself, Mike Armstrong. He's got some pretty good ideas.
That's pretty good.
Cobble Hill. Doug Thompson. He's in the Cherry Building. Wonderful. You want to know about some Ironman competitions?
Nice.
Jay and Kent. That was a really good podcast.
That was a good
So
one.
yeah, we just go through here. We got quite a few people. Is there anything else, Todd?
Well, you got the Primal Scream podcast. You have the Bandwagon podcast. You have the Count to 10 podcast. You have my blog, which I haven't done anything on in quite a while.
I wish you would do
But
something with
I
your
need to do
blog.
something more. You're right. I need to find more focused time.
Seriously, the Bandwagon. I just edited their most recent podcast, and I really enjoyed it.
Good.
I love the fact the Bandwagon podcast, sports comedy podcast. They take the bandwagon mentality to the highest degree possible,
And they believe it. It's not like they just fake it for the show.
Yeah, it's not just for the
They
show.
Really, the Seahawks were their favorite for a whole year.
Nice.
Every game is a celebration, which I love because how many times have you known or been around somebody who's watched a sporting event and they're having a great time and then their team loses and they're a dick
Oh, yeah.
for the rest of the night?
Oh, yeah.
Not these guys. Whoever wins, they're celebrating. Yay!
Nice.
They're awesome. You actually
Yeah.
can appreciate the game.
I'm kind of that way.
You're kind of
Who do you
that
want to
way.
win the Super Bowl? Whoever's behind. Like that's how
I want the underdog.
I want it to be a good game.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Yeah. So check out the Bandwagon podcast, and they have their links:
Nice.
podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook.
What is Stitcher?
Stitcher is the podcasting application for all of your, what is this? The Samsung devices, all your Windows-based
OS 10.
OS,
Yeah.
that type of stuff, and then of course iTunes is for your
Right. Okay.
Apple.
Apple stuff, like your Apple Watch.
Yeah, I don't think I can get podcasts on here.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Seriously?
And I don't know. Anyway, that's it for tonight on the Primal Scream. Thank you, Lavar.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
We appreciate it, buddy.
That's it. Adios.
Good night. What the fuck are you doing?
I fucked you out, didn't I?
Yeah, why are
We'll
you
see you
messing
later.
around for?
We'll see you later.
Adios. Good night. Good night.
Good night. Good night. You.
Is your life savings wrapped up in your 403b? Are you worried you're paying too much in fees? Ask for Matt. Matt Westbury of Premier Investments can help with your 403b planning. Matt's a local guy who will sit down and talk with you about what you want from your retirement and give you simple answers you won't find on a confusing 403b website or at an 800 number. Go to askformatt.com. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated. Member FINRA, SIPC.